What?
Onland.
That's because we need a new autocorrelation spectrometer, not to mention a new drive systems regulator, a Freon activator, and of course, a complete scan systems overhaul.
Jim Jarmusch made an Amazon movie? What?
What?
There's this banner ad all over IMDb for this new Amazon original Jim Jarmusch movie. It's strange.
It's Yarmouche.
I like that our stuff
It's
is advertiser friendly.
Jarmusch.
It's Yarmouche. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It should be Jarmusch because otherwise you'd say Yim. Yim Yarmouche.
Hey, Yem.
Oh, hi, Yams.
Hi, Yem. Are we on the line?
James Jarmusch.
Probably.
I need to know.
Hey, we're on the line.
Hey.
Caller. You turn on your podcast.
Radio down, caller.
Turn your internet down.
Video.
Wow. I feel like I haven't been here in 2 weeks.
You haven't?
Well, fuck you, man. I'm trying to keep it advertiser friendly here, and you're pulling that shit.
Yeah.
You're
Starting shit.
Fuck us suck.
Yeah.
That's not advertiser friendly at
guys,
all.
we're going to get banned and then never...
Fuck a son of a gun.
Whoa.
You could fucking go to heck.
Yeah. You
By
can,
golly.
yeah.
Go fornicate yourself, you cocksucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You just made a whoopsie doodle, you fuck.
Oh, I did. I did whoopsie doodle.
Whoopsie doo. Do we have a
Yeah.
tweet?
Yeah.
Is there a tweet?
Yeah.
There's a tweet?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Does it say, eat poop, you shitbird?
Meatballs in space.
I like the way you tweet it.
All right.
Diggity.
I don't know. I don't read these. I shouldn't read these anymore.
Meatballs, what the fuck are you talking about, Chuck?
It's from the writers of Meatballs. In space.
Look at you with your spurious connections. You should be writing some
Meatballs
IMDb
in
trivia.
space.
Yeah. It connects
Oh,
into...
Jesus. All right.
No.
There's a
Jesus, God.
I'm not going
no.
to spoil anything, but the movie I'm going to
jeez.
talk about in the second half, once Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
I went to IMDb trivia because there's lots of little Easter eggs all over this thing, and I didn't want to watch like here's 15 things you missed in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But there's one girl in the class who has no speaking line. She's just in the background a few times, and she's got like all white hair, despite being very young. And I'm like, okay, is she supposed to be like, I mean, Black Cat just wore a wig, but I was like, is it Silver Sable?
Felicia.
Yeah. I'm like, who is this? And all the entire fucking trivia was like, this person was in this person and in this thing with that. I'm like,
Yep.
fuck everything. Just fuck it all.
Yeah, it's everyone who's they write trivia before. I don't know if they get points or something, but I mean, there's not even any forums anymore, so...
It was so fucking stupid. It was like, literally like the most oddball connections. Like, so-and-so was in this, and it's like Batman, and...
I wonder if it's Russian-coded bots. Like those Britney Spears Instagram comments.
Yeah, that's
like
what
if
it
that's
is.
what they're going, they're going like
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming comments.
I mean, you can go look at the comments. There's the spoiler section at the bottom, but I mean, it's seriously, it's just like, so and so was in this, and person that played May Parker, and this one was with Michael Keaton, and this by this, and it was like, the fuck connections are you trying to make?
Oh, Marissa Tomei was in the paper.
Exactly. Yeah, dumb shit like that. But they don't share screen time in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spoilers.
Did it have a wall of these 900 actors auditioned to play Spider-Man?
Yes.
Those are the worst. Those are literally the worst trivias, aside from weird connections.
They really are.
Yeah. It
In
was
1986's Gung Ho, Michael Keaton says, "There's a spider," and then 37 years later, he was in Spider-Man. Blech.
Did you know he was also in a superhero movie called Batman and Batman Returns?
and he was in Birdman, which was
He
like
played a flying bird character.
which was actually like a reference to Batman that he played in 1989 and 1992.
Those are my absolute favorite. The ones like, this might be a reference to something. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Fuck you.
Don't fuck.
But it's when it's like the Vegas statement.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah,
like,
it's like, this might be a reference to...
yeah. He throws a ball at Spider-Man, which might be a reference to the line in Birdman where he said the place smelled like balls. Might be. Fucking internet.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off the internet.
Yeah.
God.
I'm getting kind of fucking sick of the internet. I gotta be honest with you.
God damn it.
The internet was pissing me off something fierce.
The internet used to be awesome, and now it fucking sucks.
It does. And
I
now
mean, you got dumbasses sitting in a room talking on microphones
I know.
like they mean anything.
Right.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
God damn it.
Seriously. This place was clean before
happened?
we arrived.
It used to be so beautiful and pure, and now look what we've done.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Here
never-
we are,
been
writing
pure.
shit.
It was beautiful.
IMDb trivia. It used to be just porn. Like, that was it.
Yep.
That was it. And it took forever to download a 640 by 480.
Hey, you can realize that dream again pretty soon.
Yeah. Postage stamp porn. Here we come.
Yeah.
We're gonna leak the next Blair Witch reboot in the postage stamp size again.
I hope we're properly monetized on this one.
I sure do hope so.
and that we, I hope we get demonetized, and then someone has to watch the video and just hear me do that in the very beginning. But all right, yeah, offensive.
The only reason I appealed the Monster Trucks one, I was just hoping one person would watch that and then maybe go
Do
see
they have
Monster
to watch
Trucks.
the entire thing?
You would think if their system is flagging
Yeah,
it for being
if
not
they're gonna
advertiser
do that,
friendly.
We're gonna get a view out of them.
Yep. You're gonna sit there and you're
We're gonna
fucking
get a
watch it.
click, you fucks.
Yeah, you bucks.
Yeah, but never got my question answered. I'm guessing it was just the lady with silver hair because they didn't give her a name, and
Yeah.
maybe it was intended by somebody, but whatever.
Well, I know the character that becomes Silk is one of his classmates.
Yes.
So I don't know if they're doing that or not, or if it's just kind of the Marvel movie thing where it's like, let's just toss him in there.
Maybe.
Yeah, and the girl from The Nice Guys is Betty Brant, and she's like on the TV, high school TV news bullshit. You know, they have in classrooms now.
Man, Channel 1?
No,
In the
like
Hacienda?
no, not like the Maria Menounos thing, like
Oh.
the home, like the things they make in the school, like the students'
Oh.
productions, news,
Oh,
school
man.
news
Oh.
on the announcements,
Man.
like the
Super
replacement
school
for the
news.
announcements. They do.
Ours were so good.
Yeah.
God, they were good.
Ours
We'd
were
have
real
segments
good.
like we'd have to the trivia segment, and someone would be like, "Do you know what the capital of Thailand is?" And the guy would go, "No," and you go, "Bangkok," and then they punch him in the dick.
Really?
Yes, we got
Wow.
away with that. Actually, we got suspended, but we still got away with broadcasting it, which I think
Should we punish them? Phuket.
I think the English teacher who was supposed to review the guy who was supposed to review it actually kind of, I think he got a laugh out of it, so he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, they'll just get suspended
it's
anyway,"
Phuket.
and I'll say they didn't show it to
Yeah,
me.
it was always the AV guy who was in charge of that, and it was just like he didn't give a shit.
He was like, "That's pretty good."
You kids are funny. I can get fired. I don't care.
Yeah, it's the 90s. I'll have a job tomorrow.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
There's jobs everywhere.
Yeah.
Float right out of here, take 6 months off, go on sabbatical, come back and get 6 jobs. So many jobs.
Yeah.
Remember when you could just walk into a place and get a job?
Totally.
Hey, remember when you could
Yeah.
take a sabbatical?
Yes.
Remember when you could get a job?
I remember
Yeah.
when jobs were like, I don't need this job. Fuck this job. And you could quit.
Yeah, it was the best. I remember when you'd go out and there'd be a sign that said "long-haired freaky people need not apply." Mm-hmm.
So you tuck your hair up under your hat and you went and go in to ask him why.
Yeah. And then you had a job when you
And then he
walked
says,
And
"You
then you
look
had a
like a
job."
fine, upstanding young man. I think you'll do."
I took off my.
Yeah, all that.
out. Those were good times.
They were.
And now
They
they're
were all
over.
right.
Sign everywhere, a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now look at it.
There's
We
so many
all hate our
you
jobs
guys.
and we're all stuck in them. The only new jobs are jobs in the mines.
Yeah.
Literally in the goddamn mines.
Yep.
What happened to us all?
I don't know.
Man, I thought by now we'd all be space hunters.
You would think.
Hunters of space.
One would think. Is this one of those reversible cover kind?
You're one of
Or
those
is that only
reversible cover
Shout
guys.
Factory?
Mill Creek, no.
That's Shout Factory. that does
Mill
that.
Creek, you're
That
lucky.
Blu-ray was $6.
Okay.
You're lucky there's even a sleeve in
I'm
there.
sorry. My bad.
You're lucky it's not written on loose leaf. It's just a Space Hunter.
It just comes in like the old like Pizza Hut sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that there's a spindle in here to hold the disc is really something special.
Yeah, you were just expecting to be a white envelope
Yeah.
inside. There was something that did that where they had the case, but it was just like
Our Andy Sedaris collection does that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's also like literally $3.
Yes, but yes, you mean like a legitimate like single movie, like one disc.
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah. But Andy Sedaris collection, also Mill Creek.
I always wanted to be a secret agent, codename Mozart. You know, make it through Checkpoint Charlie by the skin of my teeth.
I've heard that one before.
Let's do a podcast.
All right.
Give me just a sec.
Let's do a podcast in a minute.
I'm writing some IMDb trivia
You writing it?
about which BMFcast movies guys have appeared in.
Oh, okay.
Have fun.
I forgot to do that today. I should have done that.
Guess what, Chuck?
You what?
I did it for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Man, we've only had 2 Michael Ironside movies.
That doesn't sound right.
You'd think we'd have had more.
Watchers and what?
McBain. Yeah.
Man, that doesn't sound right at all.
Hey, listen.
Michael
What?
Ironside makes a million movies.
That can't be the only Michael Ironside movies we've watched, right?
If you know which Michael Ironside movies we've done,
Yeah,
post them in the chat.
name me another. Look it up.
No.
We haven't done Total Recall. We haven't done Starship Troopers. We haven't done Turbo Kid
Or Scanners.
Free Willy.
or Highlander 2. We've avoided the pain of Highlander 2 thus far.
Well, that becomes the question of like, what's the version that we watch?
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Hello,
Mary Lou. Prom Night 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite literally on our Twitter today, right?
Yeah, because like it just hit Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is more than 2.
Yes.
It's 3.
Ooh. Hey Chuck, we could watch someone. Oh, Evan recommended we watch Krampus. I've been looking for an excuse to watch that. No?
We'll see. Maybe next
For
week.
extra.
Christmas
No, for
in
extra.
July.
I know.
Oh, okay. What? Do you already have like a locked
We
in?
have a list.
Is it locked in?
No.
We almost always have a list locked in.
Not for us. I mean,
it's not
I mean,
locked in.
Not,
I just-
not all of us. Just the extra.
Yeah.
Crap. Our Christmas in July.
Oh
crap.
man, he was in JoJo Dancer.
JoJo Dancer.
Your life is calling.
JoJo Dancer.
JoJo
JoJo
Dancer.
Dancer.
JoJo.
JoJo Dancer.
Oh man,
Oh man.
did we do Hellcab?
No.
No.
Okay.
The DC cap.
Yeah, we did do that.
Oh, the ambulance is what I'm thinking of. That's not
We did the
Hellcab.
ambulance also. Did we do Top Gun?
No. I'm
No,
gonna tell you.
we didn't.
No.
Okay.
Oh shit! I meant to ask you before we went live, but afterwards, remind me. I want to know what.
Remind me
I-
to kiss you
No, no, no.
Mute it. Mute it. Mute it. Come
No,
on,
no, no,
mute
no.
it.
I don't necessarily need to
Mute
know
it.
like right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to necessarily listen to the entire episode. I just want to know what problematic jokes we made during the Fantastic Four episode.
Oh,
I mean, you can say it again. Whatever.
Well, you slipped
We're
into a
amongst
little,
friends here.
little of the douche there.
Did I?
You say it again.
Well, it is
Well,
me.
the queef.
I
He
know.
is me.
The queef.
Yeah.
The queef, that's
Yeah.
right. The douche is the one from
League. The
um,
league.
the league.
Yeah.
No, we
This
use
is just where I pretty much stole that from.
Wait a minute, is it the league?
My understanding
Yeah,
is we
pretty
use
sure.
some phrases we don't use anymore.
correct.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that it?
Just some things we don't
Like
say.
cunt punch?
No, we said gunt punch.
That's right.
punch him in the guns.
That's right. We don't say gunt anymore.
Even if we're referring to Gunter, we still.
He's my favorite penguin.
That was my favorite character on Friends.
Yeah. No, it was just some phrasing and some
Okay. That's it.
things.
We have implemented some rules of words we don't say.
We became better people.
Yeah.
We changed with the times as
nothing-
as the world
have
is wont to
grown.
do.
Nothing
We've
in that
grown.
episode was mean spirited. It was just the way everyone was talking then.
Yeah.
BJ, for example, said a lot of things in that movie were gay.
Were they actually homosexual?
They were.
Well, you kept saying, actually, yes, but you were saying it in the way that you say it now all the time, shouting it into the mic.
That's just because I love the way it sounds.
I know,
Well,
but
the relationship between Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom, as I recall,
yes,
Oh
Was
yeah,
just
Absolutely.
pointing out-
was a little homoerotic.
Yes,
Pointing
but you
out the
didn't say that.
homoerotic
BJ
side.
just shouted
I just-
"gay" into the mic repeatedly.
there goes our monetization.
Yeah.
All gone.
Yeah.
Controversial
So,
topic.
it was
Being
an
gay.
accurate usage of the phrase or the
I
word.
wasn't using it disparagingly.
No.
I just was saying it exuberantly.
I do recall. I mean, it's been a long time since I saw
Well,
the movie, but I did
uh-huh.
watch the documentary that you also watched.
Yes.
And yeah, I forgot how disinterested he appeared to be in Sue Storm, and how much more interested he seemed in Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
It's because he was. I
Well,
just love the way that
Just
sounds.
wait till you get to my rant at the end of Starship Troopers.
Okay.
About Richard Kelly.
All right.
That
You-
might
oh,
it
you
might
mean
be a
Southland
problem.
Southland Tales?
Or Southland. God, I was just reading. Sorry, but yeah, Southland Tales.
Okay. That might be problematic.
It might be problematic.
All right.
I might have said some problematic things.
You haven't been listening to the second half, have you?
No.
You should listen to the outro of that
I
episode.
I told him he needs to listen to the whole episode of
Of
that.
Southland Tales?
Yeah.
I mean, you can skip the second half talk. Just listen to that outro part.
Okay. Cool.
Occasionally, we did stupid things in the outro.
You did
We used
stupid
to be
things in the intro, too.
we used to be like, man, microphones.
Yeah.
You could do cool things with microphones.
Yeah.
God.
Like I said, it was like the third episode. You guys did a Shaft theme. I'm like, how come that never came up again? Like, why did we not recycle that for Blaxploitation History Month?
Probably because we forgot about it.
I
a
believe
little bit.
that's probably true. But
And
you
yes,
all-
well, there was a lot of gay panic in Graffiti Bridge whenever anyone on Morse Days,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That was in the
Crew
movie,
was-
though.
Yeah,
Like, was it us?
That's what I mean.
Oh, no,
No.
we danced around it.
But yeah, whenever they have jokes like that, you have to call out gay panic jokes.
Yes.
Of
Absolutely.
course, it was the time, et cetera, but still. You
Yeah.
can't just gloss over it.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think what he was saying is us not contributing to it. We can't help that a movie was made in the '80s, and that was a thing that happened. But yes, we can point it out. However, and say like, you may want to enjoy this movie, perhaps, but
Yeah.
just be aware that at some point they're going to be like, don't
Well, yeah,
kiss
well,
me.
well, there's like a whole, like most of the early, well, actually most of the 90s in general,
Yeah.
like if anything involves gay people, it involves gay panic of some kind.
I will say that an extra movie we watched this week called Deck the Halls,
Called
made in
Gay
2006,
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of gay panic in it. Matthew Broderick just losing his mind because Danny DeVito was near him at any point in time.
Yeah.
Which, understandable. If there's a wet, naked
Little-
Danny DeVito near you, you might go,
naked
but
troll.
not
Yeah,
just...
that's just called panic.
But not just Hank Hill screaming on a loop.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh man.
You better keep your whacking out of my tool shed.
there's no whacking at the tool shed. You have to rent a motel room.
All right. So are we ready?
Yeah, we
Oh,
should
right,
totally
yes.
podcast. I don't know what happened. there.
Woo! Woo!
All right.
Spontaneous woo.
Richard Flair.
Who?
Richard Flair.
Oh.
Oh, Dick Flair?
Noted his
Dick Flair. Yeah.
noted historian and humanitarian
You've only
Richard
got
Flair.
8 pieces of dick flare.
I like to hang some tassels for my...
Oldest ride, longest line. Woo!
Yeah, apparently the hospital my friend had to go to a couple weeks ago, he had to take his daughter.
Yeah.
They put on the board, like on the screen, what doctor is taking care of what emergency.
Sure.
And one was 9-year-old fidget spinner stuck on penis.
They put that up there as a joke. Had to.
You can't put that up on a board for people to see.
I don't know if he was like sneaking a peek at something. or what,
There's no way that
but-
was in view of patients.
But
because,
he was not like he is not someone who could doctor something like that.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, but no, he's like someone who just like would snap it on his phone and be like, "Dude, check this out." But
Fidget spinner stuck on
Apparently,
penis.
there was a child who.
Great.
Well, that child deserves whatever embarrassment and pain.
Well,
they
that
get.
child now has no penis. He just has a fidget
It's
spinner.
true.
where,
I mean,
where once there was a penis, now there is a fidget spinner. Welcome to the future.
Yeah.
my penis is a bit of a fidget spinner anyway, so
Yeah. I was just fidgeting with it.
yeah, just twirl it around my finger.
Yeah.
It helps my ADD.
Nice.
All right, let's do this. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
Episode 384.
I like those numbers.
So many numbers. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1-5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot Jocks.
Hooray for robot jocks.
Yes. Beep, boop, bop, bop. Dumby dumder.
Man, it was like I was watching the movie again, Chuck. It was so realistic. It was like the Foley was right there.
However, sometimes there's bad movies. Doesn't stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, and douchebags after bags of douche. Nay, Twilight.
Nay.
Useless. I'm glad you classed up the douche joke.
Yeah, that's how I do.
Thank you.
This week we've talked about doing this one for probably a couple years now.
10 years.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a joke eventually. It'll be like, oh, we've talked about this for 10 years. About to be there. We did Spacehunter, formerly Spacehunter 3D Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Right.
However, you can't find a 3D copy. We couldn't watch a 3D copy, but
Yeah.
it's now Spacehunter 2D Adventures in
2D.
the Forbidden Zone. So let's get a quick plot summary for this thing out of the way and talk more about it. Journey with Wolf and Nikki, an interstellar adventurer and young rebel on a mission to rescue 3 stranded women from a planet no one has ever warned them about, because no one has ever returned.
Okay.
Man,
That was the best I could come up with.
All
Man.
right, then.
The one
that copy had some flair.
the one that's on like the IMDb and Letterboxd, it's like they never even saw the movie.
All right. Cool.
Anyway,
Yeah. Who's in this movie?
Peter Strauss and Molly Ringwald
Oh.
and Ernie Hudson.
Okay, well, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold
sorry,
on here.
sorry.
Triple X State of the Union.
Wait,
His most
who was?
famous role.
Who was?
Peter Strauss.
Oh, so he's a BMFcast alum,
He
isn't
is.
All right, fantastic.
Not particularly decorated, but he's an alum.
Okay, well, good
Yeah,
for him.
He was in the movie. He was in a BMFcast movie.
awesome.
That's all I can
That's
say.
spectacular.
Molly Ringwald making her debut.
Welcome, ma'am.
She was only, 14 when this was
Sure.
filmed? Something
Not-
like that. She was not particularly...
Not really her debut, but they
Well,
credited
yeah,
that.
BMFcast debut.
Oh, right, sure.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
It's like not her film debut.
Yeah, but this was pre-John Hughes movies.
Yes,
So,
but post Facts of Life.
Well, it was
Yeah.
pre by 1 year John Hughes movies.
yeah. Still,
Yeah.
that makes it pre.
Yes. I'm saying it was this and then right
Good
in,
call, my
this,
friend.
this straight
math
into
checks
16
out.
Candles, Breakfast Club.
The math
all of
is
it.
right there. Also got Ernie Hudson, one of
Yeah.
our favorite BMFcast alums.
Yes.
Leviathan, Dragon Ball Evolution.
That's the direction we go in.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Recent.
Topical.
Yeah, that man works.
Yeah, and Michael Ironside
Uh-huh.
is the main bad guy in this one.
Overdog.
being-
Overdog.
Being mostly unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's pretty good.
yeah.
But yeah, of Watchers, Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2, and McBain. Yeah. Yeah.
We watched 3 terrible Michael Ironside, like nothing he's known for.
Well, we wouldn't watch the things he's known for.
I know, but it's just strange that he has
Well,
250 acting credits.
Arguably, we could watch possibly Scanners.
No,
I mean, it's
Scanners is
it's-
blah.
yeah.
It's not a question of good bad. It's just
I know.
blah.
Well,
There are people that would protest.
it's
us doing
Come at me.
Cronenberg, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's an air of
Sure.
it could be good, but
Of
Highlander
legitimacy.
2,
Oh, definitely.
except that there's 18 versions of it, and some of them are like 4 hours long.
Yeah, I have no idea where that movie stands
And
currently.
apparently the majority of them suck.
They have reworked that plot so many times. I don't know where it's at now.
Exactly. Anywho,
Yeah.
but
So,
that's the main cast, basically.
Yeah, there's
Other people in it, but
there's a Harold Ramis voiceover because this is
that's
produced
right,
by
yeah.
Ivan Reitman
Yeah.
and is
and 1 year
was-
before Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
probably might have had something to do with Ernie Hudson
Yes.
joining that.
Yeah. And this came out 5 days before Return of the Jedi.
oh
So they were like, get it out. Get as many people to see
Oh.
it as you can. Yeah, I mean, because nowadays they would never do something like that. They would be like, oh, Return of the Jedi is coming out, a Star Wars movie. How many months away from this can we put it and still be in the same year?
well wasn't it like just recently there was until one of them blinked there was a Marvel versus DC plan to have two things come out on the same day.
Captain America: Civil War and Batman vs Superman were like
that would have been
they played
that would have
chicken
been
with each other.
bad because they're both inter-fighting movie
Right.
things.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
And the jokes would have been ridiculous for like weeks of. Now Batman's fighting, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
Yeah.
wow.
But
5
yes,
days before. Wow.
5 days before Return of the Jedi.
Get your money and get out.
Yep.
Huh.
But
And then
yeah.
maybe they figured they would still be in a couple theaters. Like if Return of the Jedi was sold out, you're like,
Well, let's go see that other space
Let's go
movie.
see that Spacehunter movie.
It's in 3D. Yeah.
right?
The Star Wars ain't no 3D.
Yeah. It's like Jaws. Jaws was in 3D.
I think it was just kind of like marketed as a different kind of film. Like it wasn't going to try to steal any Star Wars thunder. It was more like, yeah, we know this is a B movie and it's in 3D, so
Yeah.
it's going to have a limited number of theaters and play on video a lot better than it probably was in theaters. I don't know.
No.
It's weird because it's like it's Ivan Reitman, so like there feels like
There's some legitimacy to it.
loftier ambitions, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. It also feels like there was like like there was a market like Ice Pirates. There's one other one,
Metal Storm.
Metal Storm. Like all just like we know we're B-tier sci-fi. We're just fucking going for it.
Yeah.
Like like 2001 and Barbarella can exist simultaneously,
Yeah.
and they're totally different.
Glad they do.
Well, and this is a lot like Ice Pirates in that there's a lot of ideas that are just
Yeah. Like this is
Chucked
an
at the
art department movie of just like, hey guys, go crazy. Whatever you guys want to
it's like,
do.
here's your zone.
Yeah.
Here's your setting. Go for it.
Yeah, this is your little set piece. Go nuts with as much stuff as you can. Fill the screen with imagery. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this starts out and it's just we're given a star field with credits and stuff, and swooping in logos that don't look.
But those
so
look
hot.
great on 3D.
Maybe.
In 3D, they
No,
would
they
look
didn't.
sweet.
Yeah, they probably
It
would.
would have been like the Jaws 3D credits.
Yeah, but then it's like the old Windows screensaver stars coming at you thing for a
Those
while.
stars are chunky.
Yeah.
They are like pieces of popcorn flying at the screen. They are not good-looking stars.
Yeah, but then we get to a ship that's having issues.
Well, it's
And
having
it's,
a
and it's very
voiceover.
calm about it. It's I think it's supposed to be kind of like a cruise ship.
It is.
And it's like, hey, we've experienced some technical difficulties as one of the ship's engines is exploding. I'm like, please proceed to the lifeboats.
It just seems like a all-around bad plan because I mean it seems like they're trying to say like, hey, when we're in this nebula, look at this cool lightning and stuff, and oh shit, the lightning hit us.
Well,
Like-
they're flying. First mistake is they're flying through this galaxy or solar system, and it's got a star and then a like tiny star orbiting the bigger star.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're going to fly through in between these. We're going to give you a nice, good, close solar pass so you can look at this crazy, weird thing.
Doesn't go well.
No.
No, the first thing that happens is lightning strikes.
Yes.
Twice.
Yeah. But literally one ship gets out. Like one escape pod gets jettisoned.
They try to launch all the escape pods, and only one makes it. Everything else just explodes in sparky
yeah.
sparklers.
Sparky, fuck your little model.
Yeah,
Explosion.
and it is a little model. It does not look good.
Yeah.
But the voiceover lady continues, and she's just like, well, welcome to the Escape Bot 9000, and we will send you to the nearest Class E planet, E for Earth, which, no, not accepted sci-fi terminology.
Yeah.
But
but actually, I think it might be real terminology.
whatever. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's already been established by science fiction that's Class M. But yeah, it's just like, hey, we're going to find the nearest planet that you can live on. Enjoy your stay. And this thing just careens down onto red Arizona planet and just doesn't come to a landing. It stops because there are rocks everywhere.
And the best thing about it is like the hatches just blow. Just,
Yeah,
yeah.
as soon as it stops, they just...
They're like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And you see like people in ridiculous like brass spacesuits covered in some kind of goo, and the robot lady is still talking like, please enjoy the mild
Yeah,
goo.
you've been mildly cryogenic frozen.
yeah.
Do not be alarmed.
almost looks like they were trying to go for the Demolition Man foam thing.
Maybe.
Because like
They just fill the
down
whole
like
thing up
all
with foam
bolt
and-
like from like torso down, it just looked like they were like sitting in like a foam pit.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, is this like the same thing as Demolition Man before that? But
I think that was the idea, but they
maybe
just didn't bother to
didn't
explain
bother
it.
to yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, and very slowly, like these people wake up and they're like,
They look like
groggy.
futuristic diving bells or like
Exactly.
diving helmets
Yes.
on their heads, but with like a tentacle. Or
Yeah, but there's giant contraptions, and then they finally take them off, and it's like one of the bands from Vicious Lips. It's just hair metal ladies.
yeah,
Space ladies.
Yeah,
and they're suddenly surrounded by I don't know.
gross dudes. Just immediately as
They're surrounded by the internet.
yeah, the internet shows up.
Oh, girls,
Ladies.
Hey, my lady. Hey, send nudes.
Yeah.
the gentleman.
But I mean, they are in freedom for 4 seconds. They're like, take off helmet, and oh no, space
Well-
raiders are here, and they're grabbing us, and they're kind of chasing them into an area while they're peeling off pieces of their brass whatever and throwing them at them.
Yeah, they like shinies.
Yeah. But eventually they're scooped up and
Yeah, it's weird from the time that we leave them, we then travel over to meet Wolf, the space hunter,
yes.
who's just like living it up in his like shitty space RV spaceship. You know, it's like
He's Lone Star.
yeah, it's like, dude, grab a space broom and like you've got crumbs everywhere.
Yeah. That's how you get ants. Space ants.
Yeah.
Well,
Spats.
I appreciate shitty space aesthetic.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
like his ship's a pigsty.
Yep. He's a space pirate hunter.
Yeah, but
Nice.
like he's
He's a swarthy space rogue.
he's listening to basically space voicemail, and this is where we get our Harold Ramis like sort of cameo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Your wife needs credits.
And you're gonna get evicted and all this stuff, and then it starts to cut out, and of course he tries to American engineer it, which is hit it a couple times and then eventually kick it till till it sparks and goes all the way out.
Well, he starts getting the distress signal.
Yeah, well, something like 3,000
3,000 mega credits.
megabucks credits.
Yes. And he's like, sweet, but then it starts
Yeah.
going on the fritz. So he has to go wake up this lady.
this lady who's laying under a sheet, and he just straddles the sheet and he's like, whatever her name is, wake up,
Chalmers.
Yeah, Super
Superintendent
Nintendo Chalmers, wake up.
Yeah.
Chalmers.
And she's like, oh, I should have worn pants. Because she's literally not wearing pants.
Does she say I should have worn pants?
Yes. And then she just goes around and fixes the ship, basically.
You should have let me sleep. And he's like, oh, too bad.
Well, she's something like
Fix
space
fucking ship.
regulations say 4 hours sleep is what I'm
Well,
supposed
she
to get.
says downtime.
Oh, whatever.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. But she fixes the intercom or the space
Because she
communicator.
accuses, she's like, you kicked it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, it did. But
Which
yeah.
turns into a mild joke later because she goes, boop, boop, and it's back up and running, and he's like, get me a location on this.
Yeah.
And then they land, and it's a prolonged landing sequence, and then they hop in their sweet space jeep.
I will say this before they land on the planet. It's a really sweet planet model that they
It
made.
is.
Absolutely.
It is like one of the best looking planet models.
Yeah,
I've seen.
I didn't so much mind the very long landing sequence because it was showing off both a decent model that did not appear to be surrounded with wires and a decent planetscape for it to land on. It looked pretty good.
Right. Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Like as a
It's-
kid, I would have been like, "Oh man, look at that! That's fucking
and
awesome."
I could say as a kid, I was. quite
Okay,
often, so.
all
I'd
right.
say as an adult,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
looks
oh
awesome.
yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they land, and then it's time to go to their sweet space jeep, the away vehicle, and that he's sitting in it and like trying to open up the doors, and he's like, "Damn door's stuck" or something like that. And she walks over and kicks it, and the door opens, and he just gives her a look, and he's like, "Oh, you."
You get in here, get in the Spartacus or the Sparkles
Scrambler.
or Scrambler.
the Spartacus, yes.
I don't know.
The Mako.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they drive off on adventures, and
But okay, so this custom Jeep truck thing that they've built doesn't look like anything I've ever seen. It doesn't look like a thing that has something bolted onto it. It's pretty cool looking.
I think it started life, I'm pretty sure, as a Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
Like, I think they just...
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. Like,
But they have bolted enough
They've
stuff
bolted a lot
onto
of
it
shit onto
to where
it,
it doesn't just look like something with a fiberglass shell on it.
No.
It looked to me like an international harvester or something.
Yeah, because the other thing is
It's
clearly
crazy.
A
it could be.
tractor.
It could have been a.
Yeah.
It could have been a like a.
It's a
It
general
could have actually been a scrambler.
SUV type
Jeep
thing.
Scrambler.
Yeah. But they have bolted a lot of shit on, including like a turret and cool like almost like World War II bomber hatches on top of it and shit like that. But it's again like the production design on the shit is good. Like
Yeah.
I mean the ship is. You don't see a lot of the ship because the ship also has a function. Like as soon as they get this scrambler out, he goes, "All right, bury it in the sand," and this thing just basically digs itself into the ground.
Yeah.
And to hide, which is that's a pretty cool fucking function of a ship.
Yeah.
You know, but so yes, they drive off on adventures, and
They start to see something coming over the horizon.
yeah, and it's
It's a train car
Yeah.
with a pirate
we
ship
didn't
on it.
mention when the ladies first got taken over by the space mutant internet people. Also, a like tank thing rolled up
Yes.
in the middle, and it wasn't real clear what it was doing, but apparently it was rescuing them from the rest of these mutant people because
Putting them on there.
then we see it's basically like Jabba's sail barge except as a train. It's got giant, fan sail type things on the side, but it's on train tracks.
Yeah. But
And-
it's cool looking.
Yeah, it's very cool looking.
But suddenly black vehicles show up. Just
Yeah, well, there's something blocking the tracks.
that's right. And
Which turns out it also has a mounted gun on it that starts shooting at the ship. But yeah, black vehicles show up and they're just being attacked by raiders.
like armored motorcycles and dude was just with, like weird welded armor, but their helmets are super bulky, but the view out of these helmets just look like metal jaws, which are badass. Like their view out of these helmets are just teeth. And this starts basically like a pirate sequence of the people on the ship are trying to fight back and not having much luck.
Yeah, because they roll up and we're like, we got this, and
Yeah.
then like, basically yes, pirate battle between this and the teeth people, helmet
Teeth people.
teeth helmet people.
Lord Helmet and his
Yes.
crew. And
yes.
Spacehunter is showing up, and they're just like, "Well, let's watch this. Let's see what this is all about."
Yeah, and then
they're just kind of chilling.
Well, like one laser beam careens off the
Yeah.
scrambler thing, and then he's like, "Oh hell no!
Oh hell no!
And let's swashbuckling and
Yeah.
begin."
Because his space lady says, like, "Well, which side are you fighting for?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let's do this."
I just
He
need to
says
get-
I'm fight. I think he says I'm fighting for my side.
Okay.
And
Well,
then
he
goes,
yeah.
"Pew, pew."
But like the captured ladies no longer feel so captured. Like they're just kind of out on the deck and they're not trying to escape. They're just kind of on the train now.
Yeah,
it almost
and-
looked like they're trying to help, like shoot. and
Kind
stuff.
of.
Yeah.
And it looks like one of them gets murdered, but that apparently is not the case. Like
Yeah.
one person at some point snaps some necks.
Yeah,
Two of 'em,
and
two of
there
'em.
is a
Okay.
clear
There's a
celery
celery crunch.
Yeah.
neck snap
Yeah.
as he does that to one of them.
I guess the idea was it was a sleeper hold, but they added in the neck
Yeah.
crunchy sound, and it's
It's like, no, you
But-
murdered that lady.
I mean, it's not even like a sleeper hold movement. They do
yeah.
the
Yeah.
sleek, like neck snappy thing.
Yeah.
maybe in space, like that.
In
just
space,
puts
no
you
one
to
can
sleep.
hear you.
Snap
Your neck snap.
Yeah, but
Much
so
easier to protect your neck
But-
when you're in space. Yeah.
Wolf is just, monkey bar through this thing, through all of it, just climbing and jumping and,
shooting
murdering
dudes.
whatever.
There is a cool move where they're on like a rope bridge deal, and the one guy runs up on him on the other end, and he just jumps really hard,
Yep.
and he like shoots the guy up in the air, and the
Yes.
guy comes down and like basically racks himself and then falls off.
Yep. And in the midst of this, off a cliff in the background, suddenly hang gliders have shown up. Like dudes.
Rocket powered hang gliders.
Yes.
Don't forget
Yeah.
that.
And you're watching this and you're like, well, wait, are they coming over here? Are they just set dressing? What's happening? Because they're just flying around for a while. You have literally no idea what they are or what they're supposed to be or whatever. But eventually they just start hooking the.
Yeah, they show close up, and you realize that they're more raider guys.
Yes. And they just hook these ladies and swoop them off of there. And one just gets yoinked off this train.
Yeah.
Like if it was a dummy or stunt person, I don't know, but like the others are like extreme close up and it's like latch yoink, but this one is just like all in one shot, just grab and go.
Yeah, it also looked like that hang glider almost crashed
Yes.
in that shot.
Yes.
In fact, it may have off screen.
Yes. So there was one dude who was able to stop the train, like old Santa pirate who got blown off the
But he was, yeah.
He was the only one who was
seemed
able
to
to
be
pull
like
the
their
brakes.
leader.
Yeah, but he got blown off and is bleeding out basically, and like the chaos is over, and he's yelling at Wolf basically.
'Cause he thinks
Yeah.
he's somebody else.
Yeah, he thinks he's Overdog, and he's
Grand
just-
Man is
yeah.
what they called him because he was old.
Oh, okay. This guy is also a young guy in old man makeup,
Yeah, and
which
it's not
happens.
very good old man.
No,
makeup.
but it happens 2 or 3 times throughout this movie. There's just young dudes and old people makeup.
there are no old people in Arizona.
I
or
get,
Vancouver.
but it's strange. Like why
It
that
probably involves
happens?
stunts.
You think?
It's got to be.
Like they just
right?
painted up the stuntman so that they could save some cash.
I guess.
Okay.
That's my guess.
It was just weird. Whenever there was supposed to be an old man, it was a young man in old man makeup.
Yeah.
I kept thinking there was going to be a flashback or something to make that make sense, but no, never.
Yeah, but he yells at Wolf,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm not who you're talking about. I'm just trying to track down those ladies.
Yeah.
So where are they?" And they're like, "We're not going to help you, Earther.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Get out of here.
We may have the same goal, but screw you."
Yeah. Work together. Psst, fuck off.
Yeah.
Thanks for saving us, but get out of here. So he's like, yeah, whatever. And so he goes back to his cool Jeep, and he's like, come on, lady, let's go. And she's been murdered, but it's not a she, it's a robot.
But for whatever reason, he has a like Ark of the Covenant button because he's like, oh, well, I guess that sucks. That was a good model.
Yeah.
And then he just goes remote control, boop, and her face just melts.
Yep.
It's so in case your bot gets uppity, you can be like, I'll press the fucking button.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a pretty cool effect because like the face doesn't quite melt at first. It like kind of parts of it slide off.
yeah. And then it's just like this mesh that just starts crumbling away. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good, whatever it's melting is good job.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, but it also seems very wasteful.
Yeah, you could probably
Like,
recycle
I felt like
something
he
in
could have
her.
repaired her.
Yeah. She might have been all right.
Yeah.
Some of her processors
The,
may have
the
She had
lights
nice
were
legs.
still blinking
Yeah.
on her neck.
memory card in there somewhere. You could recycle that, put it in your Vita.
Yeah, put it in the new one.
Yeah.
We saw this plot already.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're just going to have to hunt the wasteland for a new Cherry 1000.
2000.
Well, I know, but this was before.
Oh.
So,
Well, actually, it'd be after in fictional universe. I don't know.
exactly. But he just drives off. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to go solo adventure this.
Yeah, and he comes upon some kind of little settlement building.
It's like a weird 3-tiered pyramid with an obvious door on it. And he's like, well, might as well check here.
Yeah. And just kind of falls into it.
He does, yeah. He's trying to figure out how to open the door, and the door just goes yoink, and he, slides down into it, and it's just a Hall of Terrors in there. Everywhere is just skeletons and
Well, to further make Indiana Jones references, it's basically like when she backs up and it's just Corpse City falls on her. It's like
Yeah.
Like 4 skeletons fall on him while after
it's
he
not,
slides in.
It's not a good haunted house.
No.
It's
I mean, it'd
it's
be a
the
pretty
county
good
fair haunted house.
It'd be a pretty good haunted house if a fucking skeleton fell on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
If they're allowed to touch you in the haunted house.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
I wish they could. Anyway, moving on.
it's the only way I could finish.
Have to
Please,
think about
if you know of any haunted houses where they can touch you,
Right.
have to think about skeletons.
I need a scary ending, okay?
I can only get off if a rogue skeleton touches me anymore.
Gross.
Anywho,
Anyway, he hears his Jeep. He hears someone trying to drive it, and he eventually gets up and goes out, and someone is badly trying to drive the Jeep, and he just runs over to it. It's like, hey, stop this. And it's Molly Ringwald.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Urchin Molly Ringwald.
Yes. And, man, prepare for one volume, one tone, complaining and screaming Molly Ringwald for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and not only that, she's like, it's never quite established what her backstory is, but she's lived here for a while, long enough to where she's apparently from Earth, but her English has gotten mangled to where it's just become nonsense space words.
Yeah,
you
some
know.
of it, which I guess is the language of the land. But she also learned Earth language from her aunt.
Oh, okay. So, it's like, she will speak sentences, but every once in a while there will be a sentence full of nothing but nonsense, and you're just like, what? What are you saying?
Yeah,
and
but-
even he is like, the hell are you saying?
She's basically like it's basically like Blue Lagoon language. Like
Sure.
she got some,
Yeah,
now it's
retained
just
a little bit of
like
it.
now I'm just kind of
Yeah.
picking up the rest of it and filling
Now
in
I'm-
the gaps.
I'm just saying nom nom, and it's like, well, what do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but he tosses her out, and then she's like, "Hey, I'm a tracker. I can help you. I know you're looking for those 3 Earth girls. I saw them.
Yeah, now give me some food.
Yeah, you got any food? You got
I'm crazy Molly Ringwald. Give me some candy.
I'm crazy sweater arms. I got a sweater for arms. Now give me some food.
Yeah, so it quickly becomes, all right, fine. Come along. Show me where to go.
Yeah.
And he quickly notices that she reeks and has to open up the hatch on the Jeep because she keeps trying to get his attention, and he keeps moving away from her like, oh, good God, and then has to vent the Jeep.
Yeah, and this goes on for a while until they decide to camp.
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's not really determined what the day-night cycle on this. I mean,
Time is weird in this galaxy.
It might be a binary star system, so there might not be much nighttime.
It is in fact a binary star system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yes.
I know.
But
Anyway,
anyway, but like he's got a fancy like inflatable silver sleeping bag thing.
well, he's gonna feed her, and he's like,
Right.
hot
It's hot
dog
dogs.
time, and
It's
she's like, I don't eat dogs, and then she's like, give me the dogs.
Well, he's like, no, they just call them hot dogs.
Yeah.
They're not actually dogs.
But they're square hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hot dogs.
it's just like
They're
bar of
they're
tofu.
counter-friendly hot dogs. It's about the future.
Yes.
Although they're really not good for the space
For the space
7-Elevens. Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
that's true.
Because they just
It'd be very loud.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, they eat, and then eventually he gets his fancy space sleeping bag thing, and he's like, "This is where I'm sleeping. You deal."
Inflatable Mylar sleeping
yeah,
bag. It's
you
nice.
you sleep wherever, and because it's already established she doesn't know how to talk, she also doesn't know how to sit in this Jeep.
No.
She's like sitting in the stupidest angles. She also doesn't know how to sleep, despite being an outside orphan person. She picks the most uncomfortable position to possibly ever sleep, and of course, like throughout the night, the blazing sunlight of the nighttime, she crawls over to the sleeping bag, and he wakes up because she reeks, and basically grabs her, and it
It
like
smells so bad.
It wakes
Can
her
you
up.
imagine?
basically wakes her up, picks her up, and like just tosses her into this like water hole that they found.
Yeah, and immediately goes into his holster and pulls out a bottle of shampoo and is just like, time to clean you. And it's like, why were you carrying that?
Emergency shampoo. You never know.
But yeah, so he just sort of starts violently washing her. And this is awkward and unpleasant. I mean, it really is.
He doesn't really
It's
make any contact.
necessary.
He's more like telling her what to, I mean, he does like
Well, he's
administer the shampoo, but then he's like, do this, do this.
Well, yeah, and he's dunking her head underwater.
Yeah, there was that.
And he's like, not clean enough.
He's
Yeah,
being
there was that.
Okay, I forgot
He
the
was-
dunking the head thing, but
he was
it's not
being
like he
quite
was
physical at
washing
first.
her.
No,
You know?
no.
kind of like trying to wash an unruly dog.
Kind of, yes. But eventually she's clean. But she's still bitching. She's like, you just want to see me in my wet things and then space clothes. Yeah, it's just constant, just bitching. The whole everything. And then another vehicle rolls up while they're kind of wrestling around in the water.
Yeah.
And it's, Space Bulldozer.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what this thing was, but it's a giant, forklift tractor, whatever, with a giant bulldozer front taped to it, which is the flimsiest fucking thing, as you'll find out shortly.
Both of they're all listed as custom made on
Okay.
the Internet Movie Car Database.
Yeah.
Fine.
But it's definitely a modified tractor of some kind.
Yeah. And Peter Strauss just kind of is walking in front of it, and this thing is kind of preventing him from moving, and it's kind of threatening him. And eventually he does, eventually gets out of the way and goes up at the back of it and crawls over to the cabin.
Yeah, but it does a lurch to the side and
Yeah,
it
he does-
tosses him into the rocks.
Well, he's able to throw it off course, and it flings him, like, good job, guy, because it just flings him so hard into the rocks. And then the pilot person driver gets out, and it's Ernie Hudson in a sweet spacesuit and shaved head. And he's like, man, Wolf, I knew it was you. Get up. And Wolf is not moving. He's like, come on, we both did this at the academy. I know your shit. Get up. And Wolf is still not moving. And then he's like, oh, man, are you really hurt? And then Wolf just jacks him. It just
Backhands the shit out of him.
and takes his gun. He's like, you son of a bitch, Washington. And they bicker back and forth for a while. And then he's just like,
It's like, hey, you want to make some credits?
yeah, because he's like, oh, you
Or
must be
mega
here for those
credits.
girls. I'm already here for the girls. I'll give you 500 credits if you want to help out. And he knows that the reward is 300.
3,000.
3,000 mega credits.
Yeah.
So he's offended by all of Ernie Hudson's offers, but isn't letting on that he knows how much the reward actually is.
But wouldn't Ernie Hudson know how much the reward is?
Ernie Hudson knows. That's what I'm saying.
Wouldn't he know that the other dude knows?
Maybe not, because
Oh.
he did have a shitty communication system.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man.
So he kind of just tricks Ernie Hudson. He throws his gun in the water, and
Well, he's basically like, I'm not. He's like, we should partner up. We should do that. And he's
Yeah.
like, nah, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
And
and his
and he's-
vehicle's already wrecked, And he's like, "You're just gonna have to sit here and think about what you've done."
Yeah, and he tosses his gun in the water so that he can't immediately get him and shoot him.
And Ernie Hudson just sits down on a rock like, "Woe is me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm done in the movie."
Wolf's a big jerk.
Yeah, kinda. But
meanwhile,
yeah,
we have finally met Overdog.
yeah. Well, we first met the chemist.
Yeah.
Because they took the ladies to the chemist, who is just in this room of plastic nonsense. It's like a mad scientist library or laboratory that's safe for children. There's no sharp edges.
It's not though.
No,
Like,
but I mean, it's everything in there.
A lot
is-
of like cables,
Yeah.
and just stuff hanging from the ceiling, and just
shitloads of plastic
Junk.
hanging. From
and
the
he's
ceiling.
like,
It's
"Oh,
weird.
it's like we need to inspect these women. Are they Overdog likes them if they
No
have all their
scars.
limbs
Yeah.
and no scars?
Because like the hang glider people have landed in this area and dropped them all off, and he's like, "Bring them to me. Do they have scars? Do they have limbs?" Overdog likes them smooth. They keep saying that over and over too.
Yeah, but they bring him to Overdog, and man, Michael Ironside is like, they've got him like Nosferatu'd up.
He is permanently attached to some sort of hydraulic system that can just transport him anywhere in this area.
Yeah, I mean, what he looks like a boss you'd fight in Doom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's got these giant metal arms with like three-pronged
He's
pinchers
claw
on
machine.
the end of them.
He's also like a secondary Hellraiser character because he is heavily made up. Like he's got full prosthetics on his head, and all his
grill.
teeth are just made of
Platinum.
iron.
Yeah, they look metal.
Yeah.
and his nose is like almost off. And he's got a big plate on the side of his head.
Kind of looks like the movie Skeletor version, like the Frank
Kinda,
Langella
yeah.
Masters of the Universe.
Yep.
And they bring the ladies in, and he is just like, "Show them to me, let me look at them." And like
Overdog likes this.
the stupid guards are just like throwing him around. He's like, "No, slow."
He's like, the middle one. Take her clothes off. And the guard starts to like yank her space suit thing off. He's like, no. Slowly.
I like to watch.
Slow.
And they just take like some random piece of leather off this lady.
Right. And he's like,
"That's the stuff." Oh, yes. This will do fine.
if I had a penis, it would be very hard now.
He is totally BJ in the haunted house right now. He
Yes.
is all about.
He's like, "This is what I need." It's been so long.
Somebody give me my electro pulse wave.
Overdog has needs.
So that's the thing that's happening. Who the fuck knows what is happening after that point?
Touch my
All we know is
Overdog.
all we know is now they need to save these girls, or bad things are going to happen to them.
Right. That's all we need.
Bad things have probably already happened to one of them.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But considering that 2 of them died and are still okay,
yeah, they have survived.
Recovery time is
They
remarkable.
have
in this
survived
universe.
neck snaps.
they might be okay here. Yeah, so this is just motoring through the desert, and it's just Wolf and the lady going through various locales and getting into scrapes.
Yeah, they stop at like a lighthouse type thing to sleep, I guess.
I thought they were looking for something, but it just
I
they
think
go
were
into
just looking for a place to sleep.
I guess, but it seemed like they were going in looking for something, and it just cuts to them cuddling, and you're like, "Whoa, what?" But yeah, they were just looking for a safe place
and
to
they get
sleep.
attacked by like the lap band monsters because like
Yeah.
there's all these like sagging skin.
It's like the Dan
Freaks.
Aykroyd monsters from Nothing But Trouble
Yeah.
are just populating this place. It's just giant bags of human skin, just shit monsters, and
And then they're sliding out of tubes that literally looks like this building is just shitting out these people.
yeah, and they are everywhere, just grabbing and trying to get at them for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's never explained.
No, and they just kind of kick and punch their way out and get back to the vehicle and drive off. And that's the end of the shit monster adventure. It's like they don't nuke that place from orbit. They nothing.
No, they
It's-
just,
they
get
just
the
run.
fuck out.
yeah, they're just like, well, we know not to go back there. Mark it on the map.
Yeah.
The weird thing that I mean, it's not weird, but like they don't address the fact that they're sleeping basically cuddled up to each other.
Yeah.
And I guess they're just starting to get along or whatever.
It was probably like before, they were not sleeping together, and then she, in the middle of sleeping, snuck over there. But yeah, so that was a little adventure. And then they're in the underwater...
Yeah, they're trying to navigate some... I guess it's kind of like a swamp inside a building.
There's like standing
almost.
water in like a water treatment facility thing.
And he's like, this thing doesn't float, right?
And she's like, I'll navigate. And she jumps out and starts walking and is...
immediately yanked under the water.
Accosted by mermaids.
Yeah. Amazons.
Yeah.
Sure.
She gets yanked under the water, and then
Amazons.
slowly rising out of the water are all these Amazon women.
Sirens, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of them makes a comment about him being good breeding stock. So
Yeah. Well,
there's some sort of Amazon.
Yeah, one goes, we could use him for breeding stock, and the other one goes, I bet he wouldn't survive the process. And he goes, I'll take that bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our man Wolf is a goer.
He's all for it. He's just like, yeah, whatever. And
He's like, I got plenty of shampoo. We'll be all right.
yeah, I can clean you ladies up. And like out of nowhere, a little snake dragon shows up.
Snagging, if
Yeah.
you will.
Well, what happens is he jumps in to save her.
Right, because she's in a net.
In a net underwater.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I got to save Nikki, Molly Ringwald, and dives in, and then immediately is netted.
Yeah, so he's in a net.
Immediately. He's like, my one weakness, nets.
And they're both yanked up into a net. And as they're in the net, like, well, this is another fine mess you've gotten me into. That's when this snake dragon pops up out of the water, and all these badass Amazons go, "Fuck this!" and they just bail.
Yeah, they scream
They
and
scream
run.
and run like seeing a mouse in a '30s movie.
Yeah. And meanwhile, and so he's like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
snake dragon thing."
Yeah.
and
Snagging.
so he's getting himself out of the net, and Molly Ringwald's going, "Eat him first. He's bigger."
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah. And so he's dangling by his foot, trying to do like the the Han Solo shoot at the Sarlacc arm thing.
Which we would see 5 days later when that
Yes,
movie
5
came out
days
of
later.
theaters.
Yeah. But ends up shooting it in the face. It explodes into flame and then sinks into the water.
Yep.
And then so he gets himself out, and then he debates whether to get Molly Ringwald out, and then finally says, "All right, fine," and shoots her down.
And
Then immediately the Amazons come back out. They're like, "Okay, Snake's gone."
Yeah, and they start sneaking back up, and then they just go up some ladders. And
they don't even try to fight their way back to the sweet Jeep.
No, they go up, and then they come out this hatch, and they're somewhere, another cool location in Arizona or something. And
It is a pretty cool looking location.
oh, absolutely.
I see why they chose to
Yeah.
shoot there.
It's like the salt flats after it's rained.
Yeah,
It's really neat looking.
with a hatch in it.
Right, with a hatch.
And they get out, and he's just like, "You better find me a way to get back to my sweet Jeep." That's all I got to say. And she's like, "You don't think I can track us?" And he's probably like, "No."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Whatever, this way." And
But
then-
there's kind of a montage of them going through the desert, and eventually you see her collapse, and he carries her, and then they just kind of come up, and who should be rolling up but Ernie Hudson in his sweet bulldozer Jeep.
Towing the Scrambler.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he is just like, "Well, look at what we have here." And,
Hey,
Wolf
that
is,
guy who didn't want to be my partner.
and Wolf is just like, "Water, please." And he's like, "Oh, you mean this delicious water?" Glug, glug, glug. "Yes, give us the water." He's like, "I don't know. You left me to die. That's kind of a shitty move." And Wolf is like, "Oh my God, whatever, dude. Let's just go." And Ernie Hudson, from that point on, is just like, "We are best friends now." We bonded over trying to murder each
Well, he
other.
says, I'll take your deal.
Yeah.
I'll take your
750 credits.
750
deal.
plus credits.
And then he's like, "And I'll give you another 200 if you fly me out of here." And he's like, "Wait, why can't you fly out of here? Aren't you like sector chief or whatever?" And he's like, "I might have crashed my ship when I got here. Oops." And then Wolf's like, "Aha, you need me. Okay, let's do this." So yeah, now we've got a 3-man ragtag group of people. And they just kind of go back to Ernie Hudson's village, his little weird metal scrapyard.
Yeah.
Is it his scrapyard?
I believe so.
He says it's like a safe area.
Okay.
Because he's built like a giant metal scarecrow robot man.
Has he built it?
I don't
He's just gotten here. I think it's just someone else's.
Really?
That
All right.
Yeah, I think they're just.
He
sleeping
seemed
there.
highly protective of it.
Eh.
Okay. Well, they're not there long before two of the dudes
He's
from
just
the pirate
he's paranoid anyway.
ship. Yeah. But like 2 of the dudes from the pirate ship roll up on their sweet armored motorcycles.
You know, like, this is a good place to sleep.
Yeah. And okay, so this is going to sound weird, but there were scenes in Fist of the North Star that had these weird like circular
Yep.
motorcycles. I swear to God, these might be the same things.
They might be.
I think so.
Because you barely saw them in Fist of the North Star, but they were distinctive enough and very roundish to where I'm looking at these and I'm going, this might be, they just polished these things off and put them in Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, I vaguely remember reading something when we were watching that episode. I vaguely remember reading something about them having used those in in plenty of other things.
Okay. But yeah, so these guys roll up and they're just like, well, Earthers, we are here now. We don't need you for things.
Yeah. They're like, well, we're going to rest here before we assault the base, of course, because we're going to save those ladies. And Wolf's like, yeah, we can team up.
I don't think they care about saving the ladies. I think they want to kill Overdog. I think that's
well,
like
their
their
that is
primary.
true. Okay, yeah.
Because like Ernie Hudson's all about like, let's just shoot them because they're going to go in guns a-blazing and fuck up our chances of sneaking and kill them.
Ernie Hudson has such a murder boner.
Okay,
He's just like, let me kill them. I have to kill. Let's just get them out of the way. They're just gonna get in the way. They're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah,
let me kill them.
Because Wolf's like, what? Why don't we work together? And they're like,
Yeah,
Earth person, you fucking idiot. What's wrong with you?
yeah. And Wolf,
We don't need your help. And he's like, well, you guys are welcome to stay here until you head out. And they're like,
We
don't
don't
need your permission to stay here.
Yeah, and Ernie Hudson's pissed at Wolf. He's like, man, in the good old days, you would have straight up murdered these fools. He's just like, I'm trying to be smart. We could use them, maybe. Who knows? They might come in handy later. Which, guess what? They do. But
this is all interrupted
yes,
by creepy ass kids.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, I just in like what look like melting face masks, and they're all just kind of like making this weird humming, whistling sound. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, because at first when they like circled this area, I was like, wait, are these the snake ladies? And then no, you just see weird mutant children, and the weird mutant children all have Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, and Ernie Hudson tells him, he's like, yeah, this is what Overdog's done to this place.
Oh, I was just motioning for Harlow's joke.
Oh yeah. Well, like I was basically just when they came on, I was like, we represent the Molotov Guild, the Molotov Guild.
It's so strange. This is another one of those things where it's like, okay, art department, come up with your thing, and it's like, okay, we came up with weird mutant children who throw Molotov cocktails. For what purpose?
To threaten the heroes.
I know, but it's like,
make them leave.
what existence of this? Why? But whatever. Yeah. So
Hey man, you just asked for a nemesis.
I
You
know.
didn't. You didn't.
I know.
Give us any direction, and we just thought it would be hilarious.
Well, I mean, there's generally mutants on this planet, so I guess there's a weird...
It just seems like this is
They're
their shtick.
creations of the chemist. I
Oh,
think
okay.
they said.
All right. Well,
I think that's supposed to be everybody, like the weird deflated naked people
okay.
and the creepy kids and everything is all
Just the
whatever
chemist is-
happened here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, everything
plus plague.
Yes.
Yeah, they do keep mentioning that there's plague on this planet, but it never comes up in any meaningful way. But so everything is exploding, and everyone's like, "Okay, get the fuck out!" So they all get in their cars and motorcycles, and they're plowing through and getting out. Now, Ernie Hudson's badass bulldozer should be able to massacre this tiny trash pile that it's got in front of it. It hits this thing and just decimates the front of his vehicle, just fucks it up completely.
I don't know that we've. So it looks really cool.
Yes,
But
it's
I don't
not
think
practical.
I think it was established early that it's not a very badass thing because it crashed into a rock,
Yeah,
a
it did,
small
and it
rock,
was
and
disabled.
it died immediately. So
yeah, but it rips this front end off.
oh, it does.
Like just turns it into tinfoil, and you're like, well, yeah. But I mean, they all get out. The two dudes on the motorcycles jump over something, and
Oh yeah, they're
Sweet
like,
stunt.
fuck, we're out here.
Yeah.
They don't even wait. So
Yeah,
now they're like, oh shit, we gotta we're down one vehicle. He's like, get in here, we gotta hurry up because they're gonna fuck this all up like we said earlier. He's like, I told you.
yeah,
So yeah, they basically just roll up on the whatever it's. They call it the graveyard, but that's like the Overdog's palace or whatever.
it's this giant monstrosity, whatever it is. It's like a power plant. That's probably where they're filming in, but it is just
The usual.
this ridiculous metal
It's like it's a dome that they've built out of scrap,
Yeah,
basically.
it's Thunderdome in an industrial park, basically, instead of the desert. Because there's
it's
just
like Blunderdome.
yeah,
They
there's
cobbled
just
it together.
scrap everywhere. Like any piece of this area at all where they could put a piece of scrap, they have done so. And it is this ridiculous rope bridge, just like I don't even.
It's like they literally built the set in a scrapyard.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, and had to build stuff
weird.
around it to traverse
right.
to get everywhere. But like in the center of this is Overdog, who is just like the games master, just like check me out, I'm here. We're gonna do some cool shit, everybody.
Yeah.
Worship
Don't
me.
you love me? I'm great.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at me with my claw game arms.
Once again, it's weird. I mean, I realize we're making Thunderdome references in this movie's before that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Shit, it's weird how many things like we're like, oh, it's just like this, but it's like shit, that was before this.
Before that, yeah.
Yeah.
But so they sneak in and are immediately guards immediately are like, hey, where's your
Where are your serum papers?
yeah. Which you
I'll serum your papers.
yeah, and they're just like, oh, right here, punch. And Ernie Hudson has like some weird blade thing that I think shoots out of his wrist.
It's just like
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed.
blade.
Yeah, it's there for the 3D, but you really don't get a good look at it. But the idea of it is cool. But yeah, they're in, and they just grab some cloaks, and they're like, we blend in now, let's do this. And then they get some like weird face masks that I guess make
The
them
guards have
guards.
the face
Okay.
masks. Yeah.
So that's the guards outfit. So they're just, we're guards now.
I
A
went,
little short for a serum trooper.
I want to point out there's a moment where they're outside and they're getting all geared up in this, and I don't know why, but like Molly Ringwald's just over there like putting her like, it's not a cape, but it's like
It's just
cowl.
a shitty shawl sweater thing.
yeah, but she's just like twirling around
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah, she's like, wee.
like, I don't know. It's funny because it's like it seems like it's part the character, but also part. But she was probably just like
Yeah.
costumes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's funny to me.
Yeah.
And they
it
of
was-
course
it was a
tell
cute
her to
little thing.
stay there, and
She of course does not.
she does not.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or no. She actually I'm sorry. They do
Yeah,
that
she-
later.
yeah, she's just
she
sitting
goes.
on-
She goes with them on purpose this time.
Yeah. She's
On
told later
purpose
to
this time.
get the fuck out.
Yes.
But yeah, they sneak in, and this is like, okay, time to run the maze. Overdog's maze. Time to do the thing. You
Which-
love me, right?
Which is basically you're in a cage that one side opens up and the other side is like
Pokes you out.
like the spike moving wall thing.
Yeah.
But only one side, so it forces you out, and then you're just kind of presented. Well, I guess I'll just stand here until another door opens up, and out comes this like blade buggy. It's just this little buggy thing that's just all pinchers and spinning blades on the front and
blades and
stuff,
barbed wire and
it's
shit.
like that's going to murder you unless you start to climb this spike wall. Which when you get about halfway down up it falls about half or like a quarter of the way down.
Yeah.
And so like you're kind of crawling at a 45-degree angle.
Yep.
And then when you get towards the top, gravity
Right.
takes over and is supposed to tumble you into like another blade
Pile of
pit.
death.
Like another just rusty pile of blades.
It's supposed to be a pile of like spikes and shit, but every time they show somebody falling into it like twice, and you can see both times the whole thing kind of
They just
like
bounce.
it's made of foam, and they just sort of sink into it
Yeah.
while flailing.
But they
around a
dub
little
in
bit.
someone go, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first guy that's how he dies is in the rusty blade
Yeah.
pit.
and it bounces. The spike wall bounces as well, so it like kind of bounces
Yeah.
people.
It is not to your advantage to go first in Overdog's
No,
maze.
no.
You need to really watch how the other competitors do.
But
and
then-
then-
right.
But then we
It's like
see
Ninja Warrior.
we see another person run and they survive. They don't like tumble off the wall. And I guess they climb over the rusty blade pit or whatever, because then there's just like floor of fire, and once again the guy is like ouch, ouch, ouch through the fire thing, and he's like cool, and then I don't remember what exactly knocks him in, but there's kind of like spinning blade things that he's
Well,
trying to dodge.
there's a water feature.
Yeah, there's a water feature with spinning blades over it, but
yeah.
apparently it's also boiling water because the
Yeah.
dude just kind of goes, I guess I'll jump in the water. Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was boiling.
It
water,
must have
but-
been because he jumped in, and
Something in the water.
Acid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it was acid.
Something
But
in the
there's-
water was not
there's
good.
also there's also like a S-shaped pipe that goes over that,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are swinging pendulum things that you have to dodge if you take that route. So it's fairly well designed. It's a little bit like Wipeout, only with more spikes.
It's the weirdest double dare physical challenge you can think of. Right. Because it's all kind of clunky and but also will kill you.
Coming this Mark Summers. Spinny blade, acid pool.
Oh yes, that Mark Summers show. I loved that show. Yeah. So.
But yes, we see a couple random people die trying to go through the maze.
Yeah.
And then
The two dudes have shown up because
one dude showed up.
yeah, because he's running across a rope bridge shooting at things, and Wolf is like kind of helping him out, and he's like, "What are you guys? What's happening here?" And it's like, "Oh, well, we decided to free the slaves, and then my brother got caught, and now he's a slave." It's like, "Well, good job, guy."
Like, they said it's probably better than having to run the maze.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
Like, I think at
there's
this
a lot
point,
yeah.
I think at this point they were like, all right, we'll get this guy out of here. We'll get Molly Ringwald out of here, and just like,
Yeah, well, Molly Ringwald, they're like, just wait here and keep an eye on stuff, and then we're gonna go set the slaves free, and we're gonna go get the girls.
yeah.
right.
And then we're gonna come back here.
And she's offended by this. She's like, "What? You don't think I can help?" And he's like, "No, I just don't want you to get hurt." And she's like, "Aw."
Yeah.
But whatever, I'm not going to listen to you because as soon as you turn your back,
No,
I'm
she
gonna...
does. She listens this time.
Yeah, she
she's
stayed
just
there.
she's sitting at the car, and the guards come out, and they're like,
No, she gets out of the car.
She gets back into the entranceway, but is
Oh,
immediately.
well,
she
she was poking through the.
she
didn't
walks
go all
like
the way in.
4 feet into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
entrance, and there's a guard
and
right
is
there, and he's
immediately
like,
accosted.
Aha.
"Excuse me,
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, you got any space drugs?"
But
you got any?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any?
I'm not a narc.
Whisker biscuits, kitty chasers.
Yeah.
that guard was making a mockery of the entire establishment.
Yes,
It was TV's Colin Mockery.
He-
Was that guard, by the way?
Was he actually? Was
Yes.
that actually Colin Mockery?
Well, it says so on IMDb.
oh, it does.
Really?
Maybe to be believed or not.
I don't know about that.
It's uncredited.
It's entirely
It did look
possible
like
that
him.
I made a really good call there.
Yeah. But they grab her and are immediately like, "Time for you to go see the chemist." And earlier she's been like, "The chemist has been after me." She's made that remark. So she just starts freaking out. And so the girls have the hostage girls have kind of been released at this point. And the chemist is like, "Oh, well,
I
here's
thought
a
they were just
consolation."
hanging in that weird like cage thing.
Well, they got them down, like, and they lowered the cage down to the point where they could kind of wiggle out. And the chemist was like, "Oh, you'll be a fine consolation prize. You'll do. Come with me. Let me show you to Overdog." To which it becomes another icky segment of, "Look, Overdog, this one's spunky. She's got fire."
Spunky
Yeah.
too.
He's like, "I like her."
And he's just
Get it.
claws and just
Yeah.
like,
And he goes, "I like her for the maze."
yeah. So she has
She's
to run
like,
the maze.
"Aw."
So she does. Oh, well, her stunt person does. Except in there. Okay, so she does all the things. Like, she screams her way through this thing, but gets out of it.
It's not really. She cheats. Well, not cheats because there's no cheating in Death Maze. But
No.
I mean, but she climbs up spike wall and just keeps going up and like hops onto it and like fights a guard with a shield.
Yeah.
and it's basically like, I'm out of the maze.
Yeah.
And then uses the shield to get
Well, she
by the
doesn't.
fire.
She doesn't get out
Oh,
of the
that's
maze.
right.
No,
She just takes the shield from.
Yes, that's right.
The way she
guard
gets out of the
and climbs
maze
around.
is that Wolf has loaded his gun with this weird, like, missile system on, and he shoots one at the, Hitler's death car that's coming down the tunnel at her, and it blows a hole into the cage that she's able to get out of. To which, like, Overdog is right there, like, "You survived the maze," and she's like, "I win." He's like, "You win me."
Now you must survive overdogging.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, the story has now changed to like he's not so much trying to sex up these ladies, but he likes them young because he like takes their life force or
Yeah.
something. Because
Yeah.
like we didn't really say, but there was an old dude that was like
That's code for virginity.
okay. There was an old dude on the train, and apparently he and Overdog at one point in time were a pair of doctors trying to cure whatever plague.
Yeah.
And Overdog is the same age as this dude, but doesn't look like it, other than he looks like Hellraiser. But because he's got whatever weird chemical process where
Yeah.
he's stealing.
They don't...
He's
they-
basically probably doing like the Silicon Valley blood transfusion bullshit.
Probably.
Like
But it's a lot cooler because
Sure.
it's a weird laser time tunnel that
Yeah,
they put her
yes.
in, and like the circles that are in this tunnel are going towards her while he's like, "Now it's time," and then the circles come towards him, and he's just like, "Yes."
Yeah, it's like the underground tunnel in the Detroit airport.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's trippy and awesome, and he is just in this thing, just, "Yes, give me all the life juice," and it's just lights coming at him, and
yeah.
and there's not a lot of conflict here at the end because Wolf like is confronted by the chemist.
The chemist and his two buddies, and just immediately like shoots one of his little rockets at the two guys that take them out. And then the chemist is like, "Yeah, but," and then he like grabs like he has like
one tube on his shoulder that is instant death, and Wolf just goes, and the thing goes, and then he's dead.
Yeah, and the chemist is just
that's
done.
it for him. And
No
he
more
just,
life juice for him.
Yeah, no. But then he runs in, and he's like, man, what the fuck's going on here with this
Yeah.
weird life juice tunnel that you're in? He actually, so she's strapped to this thing, and he looks at her and says, hang in there. And she looks at him like, you son of a bitch. Don't you say that dumb shit to me. Yeah, but then...
He shoots some rockets at Overdog. Overdog shoots some lasers at him. Eventually, he kind of blows up Overdog's thing, and then is like, I need to check out Overdog.
I better go take a look at this.
I better go get really close to Overdog.
I better get close enough that I will be in claw range of
Yeah.
Overdog,
Yeah.
who I'm sure I just killed because, I mean, you know.
He
He
sparked
couldn't-
up a bit.
He wouldn't possibly use the same trick I used earlier in the movie
No.
against
No.
me.
He's not smart. But guess what? He's smart
Yep.
because he immediately claws.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't hurt me. I'm Overdog.
Yeah.
Overdog rules.
Yeah, but he starts squishing him with his claw arm, and Wolf kind of sees like one of the tubes on the ground is sparking.
It's like an air conditioner duct
Yeah.
vent that's kind of water wiggling around for some reason because it has electricity flowing through
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You let the electricity loose. It sprays all over the room.
It's all over the place. Yeah, and he
But he grabs it and shoves it on the other claw and zaps Overdog. And that apparently kills him.
Overdog blows up real good.
Yeah.
And
they-
starts taking the rest of the complex with him.
Yeah, this is kind of like the end of Superman 3, where it's just they've built this giant complex and they blow it the fuck up. Mm-hmm. You know, it's again one of those movies where it's like no one's using these sets.
Nope.
Fuck these sets.
Yeah.
It's the last day of filming.
Because Overdog starts blowing up.
Yeah.
He's untying Molly Ringwald, and he's like, "Shit, we better get out of here."
Yeah.
Just as Ernie Hudson busts his sweet bulldozer jeep works like it's supposed to, busts through the wall.
He fixed it.
Yeah, I guess.
I do want to say, like, back when Molly Ringwald was in the maze, most of it was a stunt double, but there's one point where
Yeah.
they shoot flames at her.
Yes,
And it's her.
Yeah.
And her head is super close to these flames. Like, this...
like that take probably went wrong.
Yes, absolutely. Because, like, it's not like her hair is slicked back. You can't... It's not like she has fire retardant stuff on her or anything. They shoot this thing at her, and it is way too close. And I don't know how she didn't freak out, but she acts just like, oh, and keeps on going. But...
It could be camera tricks. It could
It,
be
it
like,
could there could have
be
been
made-
glass there,
or
I
it could
mean-
just be like optical illusion that
Sure.
it looks closer, but it's actually in the forefront. You know,
But
whatever.
this continues during this finale because they are running through explosions. Now they're not gasoline type explosions; they're more like the
Some of them
phosphorus,
are,
sparky.
Sparky stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going off near them constantly.
Yeah.
Like they constantly like, okay, now your mark is where the explosion is. So run over here and stop and blam.
Well, even like I was just thinking about like Molly Ringwald in peril. There's a shot earlier in the movie when we first meet Ernie Hudson where he jumps out of his like bulldozer thing, and it looks like he almost lands on her.
Yeah.
I mean, not
'cause she's
super
like,
duper dangerous,
"Ah."
except that he's twice her size.
Yeah.
But like, it's just it looks
Yes.
like he lands uncomfortably close to her.
Yes.
Again, it could be like, hey, if we film it like this, it looks a lot closer than it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just very dangerous people making this movie.
Who knows? Who knows? It's hard to say. But this whole complex just gone, just explodes, and like the mountain collapses down on it, and they blow up some miniatures, and they everything, whatever was there, gone.
Yep.
And then it's just wrap up time to where Molly Ringwald's throwing some sort of fit.
Well, they're like popping bottles in the champagne in the ship and everything.
Yeah,
Earth
like we never
ladies-
saw anybody get out,
No.
but luckily, like the the pirate dude and the ladies are all just like, hey, party time, it's sweet.
Yeah.
The
Earth
targets of this movie are the most insignificant jewel / reward / victims anything I've ever seen because they are so completely insignificant characters.
I don't even think they have any lines. I know they say things at the end, but it's almost like overdubbed.
Yeah.
Like it's not even them saying them.
Yeah, it's not like, how dare you?
They
we
did
will not
say
stand
some
for
things.
this.
They said something like, "I demand you let me go," and
Okay.
things like
Okay.
that while they were being held.
That's
but,
right.
Like,
Okay.
not.
But none
anything
of
of
them
any
have a
significance.
character of any kind. None of them.
No.
You never even know who they are. Basically, they
They're
were just
just
people on
pretty
the
Earth ladies.
Yeah, they were just on the cruise.
I'm guessing the backstory is like a lot of these things that people left on Earth are the rich people, and everyone else is like had to go out into the dregs of the universe.
Probably.
And so like everyone on Earth is important and worth a bounty or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they just blew up like probably several thousand of them trying to watch stupid space lightning, and only 3 of them escaped. I mean, that was a big ass ship for only
Hey,
3
man.
people to come
Yeah.
out of it.
Rich people do dumb shit.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But Molly Ringwald's upset because, like, earlier in the movie, Wolf has been like, "Okay, fine, I'll take you with me and we'll go," and she's like, "Fine, I'll just stay here," and he's like, "What the fuck? I told you earlier I would take you," and she says something like, "You didn't ask me," and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, would you please come along on adventures with me?" And she's like, "Oh, I thought you never asked. We're gonna be best friends forever and ever." And then he's just like, "I don't know how to react to you. Are you my daughter surrogate or my sex robot surrogate or my girlfriend? What are you? I'll just pat you on the head."
Could be just sidekick.
It's strange. You can clearly tell, like, the character is just like, "I don't know what you are to me."
Let's think of it as a Mal and Kaylee sort of relationship,
Okay,
and
and leave it at that.
yeah, let's
All right.
just take the most innocent version
Fine.
of that and leave it.
But they fly off into space. They go into some weird loop-de-loop warp speed that morphs into a the end.
Yes, and we do not get a question mark that pops out of the end.
No, they left space for it because the end is over to the left a
Oh,
little
there's
bit.
space all around it.
Get out. But yeah, no, that's the end. Movie's over. Space Hunter
Yeah.
is ended.
Spacehunter will return.
No.
Nope.
No.
In-
No.
Nope.
No.
I mean, never say never. We've made sequels way later.
That's
Never.
true. That's true.
Not Space Hunter.
I'll go make a Space Hunter
we
movie
could
right
totally
now.
make a Space Hunter.
We probably could make
I
a
bet
Space
Peter
Hunter.
Strauss is up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie's over.
Yeah.
Molly
It's
Ringwald's
a-
not doing much these days.
No,
She could be
she
back.
might be on a show.
Yeah, she's on the Archie one, whatever it is.
Is she?
Oh,
Yeah.
Riverdale?
Everyone's
Yep.
on that.
Yeah, she's
I'm
on Riverdale.
consistently surprised by the people on that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
No Stargrove, but the score is really working overtime
Yes,
in this movie.
It's bombastic.
It's Elmer Bernstein, who
Yeah. Who's going nuts?
Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
You know,
He's having fun because
will-
and the score is like nonstop in this movie. I think the only time it's not going is right before they get attacked by the skin people because they want that tension.
Well, and also the weird child.
Yeah, that's true.
and there's also no music in that pirate ship battle. That's scoreless. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
Huh.
this is a little strange. This is where the heroic score should be, and it's not. But
But yeah, but other I mean it's very prominent throughout the movie. I'll say
full
that.
fucking tilt adventure music.
yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
Ratings.
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 I can go.
Go for it.
I'm going 2 jocks.
Okay.
There's a lot of fun. The practical effects go a long way, but there's such a lack of personality in anyone except like Michael Ironside, pretty much. I mean, even our main guy is just kind of like his whole personality is sarcastic towards everyone. And there's not, and Molly Ringwald is just annoying,
Yeah.
you know, and I know that's how the character's supposed to be because she's basically a 14-year-old tagging along, but it's still, yeah, I have to take off for just like the weird tension between her and him because it's like we know this girl is 14 years old at this point, so that it's just weird throughout.
She's Space 14, so you don't know exactly what
yeah,
that
but
means.
it's still.
I trust.
But he
It's
shows like basically
still-
no interest. In fact, whatever. Keep going.
Yeah, it just feels so weird to me. Yeah, and the whole like shoving her head underwater and just doing all that shit is
Well, to be fair, that might have just been to shut her up for a few seconds
yeah.
True.
and to get her clean because apparently she really reeked.
Yeah, she did.
If this guy thought she smelled bad,
Yeah.
this,
Yeah,
this,
but-
this whole planet looked like it smelled bad. To be fair,
I believe it probably did.
Yeah.
There was
But-
probably
but-
some sweat going
But
on.
this movie really gets by on like the set design of the areas and just that whole I appreciate movies that feel like there's a lot of backstory that they don't feel they need to tell you. You know, they hint at a lot of it, and I appreciate that sort of stuff. That doesn't feel like we just didn't think of anything, so fuck it. Like it feels like the implied backstory is good in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it. I mean, it's two jocks. It's not, you know, it's not knocking me out of my chair or anything, but I liked it.
It's not knocking your dick in the dirt
No, most certainly
like
not.
BJ in the haunted house.
That's knocking my dick in the grave dust. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
And it's much sexier.
Lovely.
I think I have to agree with you on the two jocks thing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't blow my hair back, but it's a pretty decent ride. Like, I can't remember his name already. Spacehunter himself, yes,
Peter Strauss.
Peter Strauss
Peter Strauss.
or Wolf.
is doing a passable Han Solo. I mean, he's got the pants with the red stripe and swarthy space rogue thing.
He's average adventure man.
I like that he's not above kicking people in the balls.
Exactly.
He says it always works
yeah.
when he does it.
Well, they also kicks a dude in the balls with like a rope bridge, sort of. Like
Almost,
he jumps on
yeah,
the jumps on the rope
kind
bridge.
of, sort of rope
Yeah.
balls him, I guess. Rope bridge ball.
It's a rope rack.
Yeah, yeah. It's a rope sack attack. But like he's doing a passable and not annoying version of Han Solo and every other swarthy rogue. It's weird. Like I think had Star Wars not been so successful, this would have been just a post-apocalyptic. Well, it might not have gotten made, but it seems like they could have put this just in post-apocalypse anywhere else.
They could have been
Because-
from the nice part of the planet, and it's like you got trapped in the Forbidden Zone.
Exactly, and that may be where it started originally. It could have been like Arizona Hunter and the Forbidden Zone, or whatever. Or I'm from
Forbidden Arizona.
right.
That's the word.
I'm from Salt Lake City, and now we're in the Forbidden Zone.
Right, yeah.
Or I'm from Ogden.
What is it, full of caffeine?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Hi, I'm in from Reno. What's
Right.
the trouble here?
Hi, I just came down from Los Angeles. Really, you guys? But aside from Molly Ringwald being just peak annoying, it's all right. Like, Overdog is a fucking awesome name,
And
and
it is.
the Like-
You do want to root for the overdog.
right.
Yes.
And the Overdog himself is kind of a cool character, but they really limit what he can do. And I almost feel like it doesn't really fit. Like it feels like Overdog should be maybe Overdog should be some massive dude with a club or something that's like the mini boss, and then the guy, not quite Hellraiser, should be like the Overlord or something. I feel like he should have a different kick-ass name, but it's all right. I mean, it's got Ernie Hudson in it. I like that. I like Ernie Hudson.
He's good in it.
He's good. He's fine. He's all right. He's good.
Yeah.
He's somewhere between fine, all right, and good. Better than Chuck Fine. But two jocks, and yeah, the score is pretty fantastic. It's fantastic and bombastic, and I appreciate that.
Cool. I'm gonna give this 3 jocks. This is another one of those movies that, as a kid, I would have been all about this movie. I've never seen a frame of this until tonight. I don't know how that is. This would have been.
Did you say that same thing about Ice Pirates?
Ice Pirates? I saw 100,000 times.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So that's what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
know why one got seen a million times and another didn't. But as a kid, I would have thought this was great. Watching it now as an adult, I was impressed by a lot of factors of this movie's production.
It feels like there's actually a budget there.
Yes, and while all of the set design is really impressive, now some of it you can just, if you just look at it a little bit, you see it wobbling around, and you're just like, oh, that's like when the Amazon ladies showed up and they were like, spears, like the spears were just rubbery, just blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, but there, I really enjoy movies where it's just like set piece to set piece to set piece, and each one is its own little mini adventure, and it's over and done with and never mentioned again for whatever reason. None of it makes a lot of sense, and like I was saying, like the three ladies who have been kidnapped are the most insignificant nothingness. Like it hardly anyone ever seems to care about them. Like they're barely human according to the script, but I whatever.
They are reward money in waiting.
Exactly.
That's all
they
they are.
might as well just be a bag of mega credits.
Right.
But I guess that would make the weird sexual menacing that Overdog does. I think everything about Michael Ironside in this movie is great. It's one of those things where it's like conceptually, what on earth? How did you come up with that? Why did what drugs were you on where you're like, and he's in this hydraulic thing and he just swings around everywhere and he's got claw hands and it's like, first of all, how did that character get that way? Second of all, like, how did this world spring up around him to where he could just maneuver himself all around this complex? It's just, I thought all that stuff was really
built
cool.
that city on rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he
It was
enslaved
a
the
former
pig.
starship.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I this is a terrific little B tier sci-fi movie. I really enjoyed sitting there watching it.
I wish we could have seen it in 3D.
Yeah, but even that, like, there were 4 or 5 moments you could look at and go, that would be, because there was like when they went in to see the chemist and they were threatening the 3 girls. Like this one guy came at them with like this dumb space needle, which was just a regular needle with a bunch of tubes stuck to it. That came and was like right in the camera waving around, but it didn't look like there was a bunch of dumb stuff outside of the space stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think we missed much not seeing it in 3D. However, I will say the 2D print looks like hot garbage. Like for a HD print, it is grainy and blurry as
a lot of
fuck.
noise.
So I know a lot of that was you could tell they were shooting at dusk. But
That's when you're supposed to shoot.
this is super at dusk.
Okay.
Like not the magic hour, like the
okay.
last magic minute of the magic hour. So
Magic Minute was my
yeah, the
nickname in
print
high
looks
school.
bad, but really, how proud. Anyway, 3 jocks.
Yeah, I'm torn because part of me wants to give it a 3 jocks, part of me wants to give it a 4 jocks. Because full disclosure, this was kind of my Ice Pirates. Like, I saw the holy trinity of Ice Pirates, this and Metal Storm a lot as a kid, but this was always the one that I liked the most.
Okay.
Still, I haven't seen it in a very, very long time, but to me, this one still holds up the most too. It's not perfect. I think I'm gonna settle on 3 jocks, and like it's a strong 3 jocks because like I feel very much like this movie is my kind of thing, because you were asking like what kind of weird like drugs they were on to come up with this stuff. Well, I think like Ivan Reitman and company were like really into like heavy metal magazine and shit. I think they had stuff to do with the original movie.
They did.
Fact, yeah.
Yes.
So like, I just think that like this feels so much. Granted, it's PG, but it's like it feels so much like a story ripped from that type of universe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just that whole post-apocalyptic, like, we don't necessarily, it's almost like a vignette, like it's just like, you'll figure out what came before and you'll kind of figure out what came after, and you're just kind of watching this little section and you're smart enough to figure out what happened out kind of thing,
Yeah.
like it doesn't have to have a long text scroll that explains it all. It's just
In the year 2975.
like Ice Pirates. I felt like had
fell
to
from the
do
sky.
that. It was like,
did,
oh
yeah.
yeah, like well you wouldn't understand that like ice is hot
rare,
commodity,
yeah.
like all this stuff. This was just like, whatever. There's future shit. Earth's cool. There's mega credits. I don't know.
Well,
Just go with it.
You think about stuff like Blade Runner, where they forced a narration over the entire movie because like people won't be able to follow this.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like this is a hard one for me to like really talk about because it's just a thing that I loved and thankfully still love. Like I don't even find. I mean, I understand Molly Ringwald is being annoying. I don't find her annoying, if that makes any sense. Like she's doing what that character should do.
It was fun. I wasn't irritated by her.
And I think it's like because of her like broken space hillbilly talk. like it's just something like it adds to it. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's like Space Nell.
Yeah, kind of, yes. Spell.
P
Yeah.
in space.
Yeah, it's just there's something kind of endearing about it. It's like, yeah, a 14-year-old girl with Jabber, probably hasn't talked to anybody.
Yeah.
Very many people, and she's been in hiding. So, like, here's a guy who's handsomely roguish or whatever, and sure, she may have all. That's what I'm saying about the creep factor. Is like, I feel like, yeah, it totally makes sense that she's never seen a dude. This guy's a dashing bad boy rogue guy. Of course, she's going to be all about him, but he's just like, kid, no. Everything is like, no, like,
Yeah.
whatever. I would have liked to have watched more adventures with them. This is a universe I would like to revisit, but I'm happy that it exists in this form. I like space movies where the adventure is just almost like little set pieces, and we'll string a story through it, but it's kind of like, all right, and then they go to this location and have a little adventure. Like, we just don't really see movies like that anymore.
Yeah, the last one I can remember is like Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, exactly.
Feels like the last one that did that sort of thing.
Right,
They're just like, now we're on this planet and we got to figure out what to do here.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why I love shit like that. As long as you string some sort of narrative through it, like it can't just be like fucking Pirates of the Caribbean 2, where it's just like, we're over here now we're over here, now we're over here, and it's like, what the fuck is happening in all of this?
I would almost say that Streets of Fire was almost like this, and they would go to an area, and it was like, here's this area, and here's what's going on in this area, and now we're in another district, and things are weird over here.
Yeah.
And
Like when it's done fun,
Yeah.
I really enjoy the just set piece Indiana Jones style. Like, now we're here, and we're now in this location, and weird things happen here, and look, there's deflated people, and all that stuff. So I don't know, 3 jocks, but very strong, and I very much like this movie.
cool.
Okay, let's take a break. Shall
Taking
we?
a break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Break. My ears, they need a break. I've been wearing headphones all day, too, so my ears are like, you're a dick.
Squish to the side of your head. High speed.
Well, I finally, like, I have such a big project that people know to stay the fuck away from me right now.
Oh, good.
So that's kind of nice.
That's the best.
Like, just got them on Bluetooth and just like, let's just do this.
You should just tape a handgun to your headphones, pointing like in the direction that
Pointing
people
backwards.
pointing in the direction that people are most likely to come.
Yes.
You'll see them out of the corner.
That
of your
will go
eye.
over well with HR, I'm
Well,
sure.
Don't worry. If they come up, you
Don't
do the
worry.
same thing. You just
And
do
go,
the same thing.
Oh, it's not loaded.
Look, if somebody comes up towards you,
Yeah.
you just, as you see them walking up, you just put your hand on the gun. You'd be like, and they'll rethink it. And the same thing will happen when HR comes for you. And then the police.
Yes.
Shoot them motherfuckers too. Fuck the police.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police.
Right.
So, what do you got second half? You got
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
I'll
Anything else?
I'll keep it to that. I had a couple other things, but I'll.
I got a couple Harry Potter movies.
Oh.
I got 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you weren't here last week.
I know. I was all ready to talk about
I missed Harry Potter.
Order of the Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the good one.
That one is pretty fucking good. What is this? I know Harlow's going to have the Spiderman.
Mm-hmm.
You got Spider-Man, anything else?
Sí. Uno más película.
What?
Huh?
I have one more movie.
Oh.
Tengo uno más película.
Oh. Okay.
It won't be very long, but I have one. Another newish movie. Well, actually, yeah, it's pretty new.
It's new to you.
Well, I mean, brand new to home video.
I love when we all like slip into Aaron Neville mode. Like,
Anybody else have movies? Oh, you do?
Has the movies.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, you've got Potter. More Potter. More Potter.
Yep.
And water.
More Potter.
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 In water. Oh wait, that was last movie.
Right.
Yeah. Skin people.
Skin people, skin people. Oh, side note for it's not important enough to be in the actual second half, but I'm almost done with new MST3K. I think I have like
Man.
one or two more episodes.
Oh, I thought you were done. Okay.
No, I marathoned like a whole bunch at once, but
Oh,
I didn't continue on for a while.
Cool.
Yeah.
There
I
was
watched
one-
like
there
the
was one really
first
good
two
joke.
or three and then just fell off of that quickly.
It's same for me for some reason.
God, there's a joke in one of them that's so good. Fuck, which one was it? Like, I enjoyed. It's. I don't remember them ever doing this in old MST3K where they do a movie and then like very next episode do the sequel. I don't think that ever happened before.
Not in a row.
But they did. It was the Wizards of Lost Kingdom 1 and 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I think it was the second one. They had a just fucking badass joke.
Cool.
I like good jokes.
Good jokes are good.
I like when jokes are funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the best.
It really is.
I like it when that happens.
I like,
so funny.
I like when I have a good, funny joke that I can go, that was funny. That was so funny.
That was so funny.
Well, I can't tell the joke. It would be ruining it.
I know. Just fucking with you, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Also, it's contextual
oh well then.
to like what was happening on screen. So.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That makes total
All right,
sense.
let's do this.
All right.
Yeah.
Put those headphones back on.
Get that relube here.
Yeah. Fill all those crevices with
Get
it.
in there. Ooh.
All right, welcome back.
Hey.
Second half.
BMFcast.
We got some movies to talk about.
We sure do.
Yay.
Okay, well, in the next episode of Harlow Internet Hates Comic Book Movie, I'm going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, no.
Oh no. How could
How's
you hate
Spider-Man
this?
Homecoming?
I quote-unquote internet hate it because I have some issues with it like I did Wonder Woman.
All right.
And this, I feel like this movie's in a similar place of near universal praise.
It is.
And I like it. I just didn't love it. Like, and I can't put my finger on it. I think part of it is I'm trying to think because like I feel like this is like another like tiptoe eggshell thing. Like, I feel like part of it is they're not even millennials. Whatever the next generation is, affied Spider-Man to the point that he's now feeling more like a foreign character to me a little bit. If that makes any sense. Like,
You're so far removed.
I'm
from
so
the-
far removed from high school culture now that like some of this I don't feel like it resonated with me, and that's okay. Like I'm aware I don't have to be the target audience of everything, and so I'm okay with that. I'm not necessarily giving it a knock. It's just part of me has got the old man crotchety like not my Spider-Man, vibe to it. Just because like all right, I don't even want you to call what's after millennials. Kids that are in high school now. Like, it's not millennials, I don't believe.
I think we figured this out the last time. It's the last generation.
Oh, right.
It is the generation that won't last.
Yes. Like I said, and I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. It's just, and it's also strange to say because in watching this in the theater, I liked the Peter Parker bits more than I liked the Spider-Man stuff.
Oh.
And I know I started by saying like there's a little bit of a disconnect because I feel like I'm now getting too old for high school Spider-Man to click 100% with me, even though everything everywhere is saying like it's John Hughes movies for modern time. Like that the entire cast was forced to watch all of the John Hughes movies and all of this stuff and references to John Hughes movies and whatnot. It's all good and it's all fine. Like I said, there's still just a tiny little element where it's like it doesn't feel quite like a thing I get 100%. Still, it's really good, and I enjoy the Peter Parker stuff. I felt like the way they filmed the Spider-Man action on a big screen setting was almost too much and too frenetic for a big screen. That I think it's going to play way better on TVs. like that's not a bad thing, and and it's obviously going to have a much longer lifespan there, so that'll be a good overall deal. Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. I just didn't love it, and again, I feel like I feel like Wonder Woman, I maybe could have like put my finger on it a little bit more and did as to like what rubbed me the wrong way about it. This one is just like I can't definitively say, yeah, this is why I didn't personally love it. It's a strong like, and this one I can't really. It's all obviously tied into the Marvel universe very, 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 very heavily. I don't know that I was expecting it to be as heavily tied as it is. And I'll just say that, like, if you're thinking, like, I just like Spider-Man, I don't care about all the rest of that shit, some of this you're gonna miss some things because, like, it dates back to, like, the earliest Marvel movies. Like, there are references from, like, the first Avengers and prior to that even. Like, yeah, so it's just, like, it's very heavily tied into character motivations and things based on past events in all the Marvel movies, basically, and little quips and lines about things all the way up to now, So,
Well, I'm glad they don't show his origin.
yeah, I mean I think that's a very good choice. Just to be like, yeah, he's Spider-Man, deal with it. If you don't know how dude becomes Spider-Man,
Watch a movie.
right?
Do your homework.
Yeah. It's kind of like, who is the person that keeps going like, well, I don't know, people aren't going to understand how he became Batman. It's like, no, we get how he became Batman.
Yeah. There's no one.
I've heard that his parents die.
They do.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
His mom might have been wearing pearls.
Oh, I've heard that.
That
as well.
necklace might have gotten snapped.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
I heard he gave that theater a bad Yelp review. It's like,
Well, they were walking down Crime Alley.
yeah. Play was fine. Way home, not so great.
Yeah.
Needs better security in Crime Alley.
It had a real name prior to when they walked out it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't
Then
think
they
it was
just-
always Crime Alley.
Oh.
I think it's more like a nickname.
Oh.
Anyway.
Appropriate.
Yes. Anywho, things I gotta think. I gotta try to dig my way out because like there are things I really liked about
How's
Spider-Man.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton's great. I mean, when is Michael Keaton not really good to great?
I feel like it took 2 or 3 days for the internet to start saying, oh, by the way, Michael Keaton is awesome in this.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was so much like, this is the Spider-Man, this is the shit. And then it seemed like a couple days later, it was like, oh, yeah, by the way, Michael Keaton is in this, and he's really good too.
Yeah. There is a bit that happens with the music and like literally over the opening credits that put a giant smile on my face, just ear to ear.
All right.
So there's that, and also it's really weird because a lot of this movie was filmed in Atlanta and somewhere else, but
Queens?
well, there was obviously some stuff shot in New York proper because there's only there's certain landmarks, so that's the only place they are.
Yeah.
I will say, strangely, I felt like this was the most authentic New York one I've ever seen of all the Spider's Man.
Atlanta has started to become an acceptable substitute for New York.
It's not even like it's not the look and the feel. It's the way the people were interacting.
Oh,
like
let's ship
all right,
in some New
so-
Yorkers.
look, and I'm not trying to shit on any specific Spider's Man, but like it's gotten increasingly stupid when you look back on it. Like having to throw post 9/11 bullshit into the first movie, like where I'm just saying when you look now where we are and where we actually were then, that section in Spider-Man 1 is so fucking stupid. Like when you go back and watch it now, I just feel like it was like so very much of a moment of a thing they did for the moment that doesn't over time looks dumb. You know what I mean? Like putting a very current reference, like someone making a fucking Yakov Smirnoff joke or something in a movie. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Why would you put that in a movie? In 10 years, that will mean nothing. And to me, like that section is so like the studio is like, no, you got to put something about New York all together. Yeah. And it's like, no. Like 3 months after that, people are back to watching a man get stabbed on the subway and doing nothing. You know, like that's New York. Like, just don't make eye contact and don't engage.
That's right.
You know, and like this movie just feels so much more like that. Like that, like crazy shit happens. People are like, it's fucking New York, whatever. You know, like. And it just like the fickleness of actual real New York. I can't explain it. It's not all like, I'm not saying New York is shitty. It's just like there's a kind of blasé attitude.
But New York is shitty.
But there's a blasé attitude that New Yorkers tend to actually have in real life that is like they were like fairy tailing it in the movies prior to.
You are
like
correct.
like that really like look, I love Spider-Man 2, but the sequence with in the subway after he saves them and they like Jesus lift them over their heads is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I like that movie overall, but that scene is terrible, and it's Spider-Man 2's version of the bridge scene from the first one. So I don't know, like this one didn't have any moments like this. It even though a lot of it wasn't shot in New York, it had the most like New York feel to me. His best friend is
Bodega
awesome.
Cats.
Yeah, Bodega Cats. Yes, his best friend is awesome. Like I wanted more of that guy. Yeah. It's all good and it's all fun. Like I said, I didn't love it, so I obviously internet hated it.
Obviously.
So angry. So Chuck,
Yeah.
speaking of superheroes,
Right.
You saw a movie in the theater.
I did. I went to the
this
theater.
is weird for you. Why?
is.
What were you doing?
Well, my lady partner wanted to go see
Your wife?
Yes.
You're allowed to call her your wife.
I know. I just like mixing
Okay.
it up. She wanted to see Wonder Woman, and she was like, "If you're not interested, I'll go on my lunch break one day." I'm like, "No, what are you talking about? Let's go see
That's
Wonder
a
Woman."
long ass.
Wait, wait. She can go to a movie on her lunch break?
Well,
Yeah, I had to take a half day to see Fate of the Furious. Come on.
So yeah,
Must be, but
we went to see Wonder Woman, which has been out 3 weeks, so therefore it's been shoved into the 12-seat theater in the back of the the complex. So some quick thoughts on Wonder Woman. I was having a problem when this movie started. There's something about this movie was not clicking for me, and I was worried. Like I was almost in a panic of, oh God, I don't like this at all. What's going to happen to me when I voice that opinion? People are going to murder me. Something about all the island stuff rubbed me the wrong way, and I can't put my finger on it specifically. Part of it, I think, was the weird CG nightmare that island was, coupled with all the weird stunt flipping that was going on. Like, I couldn't quite... Like, they never quite figured out the timing of their slow motion as to when to start the slow motion and when to stop it. So it always looked really ridiculous. And I could never reconcile exactly, like, who are these people? What are their powers? What's happening here? I slowly got over that. Partially, I want to say that because we were in this smaller theater and the print had been playing a while, that it didn't look great. Well, it's not a print; it's a digital
about
file.
To say, like, where did
Well,
you go
maybe
that had a film
maybe
company?
just this projector was dark or something. Because so there's a scene where Chris Pine is on the island and he's in like this kind of crazy hot tub thing. And he's waving his foot around, and he's like, "Woo! Look at this!" And I'm like, "What are you looking at? Your foot? What's the amazing thing you're looking at? Like, is there supposed to be some glowing effect here that I'm not seeing? Like, what is the crazy magical thing that you're?" I'm just like, "What's happening? I don't see it." And then I was just thinking, like, okay, there's something wrong with the projection, or they just didn't up the effect enough for me to go, "Oh, that's what he's seeing." I was like, "Is he high? What is he high on? What's happening?" So.
Life.
Okay, well, something about the beginning of the movie wasn't clicking for me. Thankfully, as the movie went on, it started clicking with me big time. Like, as the movie progressed, I just got more and more fully on board to where, by the end of that movie, I was so on board with it, I was just freaking in love with this movie. It like, totally flipped the switch for me, and it had already gotten better by this point, but, like, the No Man's Land sequence... So, like, all of the walking through the travesties and everything, and she is just, why is no one doing anything? And then they get in the trenches, and it just becomes that screaming match of, we can't, there's nothing we can do. And she's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to do something. Like, that moment, that whole thing is fucking amazing. It is, that's when I just totally flipped on this movie and was like, this is the best thing. This is just fantastic. The sentiment of that, now, it's slightly false because it's a superhero deciding to do a superhero thing.
Yeah.
It's not an ordinary person saying, we need to rise above and we need to be better and we need to defeat evil. Let's do this. It's someone with superpowers going like, well, I'm not going to play by your rules. I'm going to go save the day.
Well, that's kind of a DC Universe thing.
Okay.
Like, the big thing that everyone has about DC and Marvel is normal people get elevated to superhumans.
Yeah.
Whereas DC, aside from Batman, of course, because he's Batman, is like they're all superhumans that kind of come down to the earth, and they're just used to being superhumans.
Yeah, and I get that.
And that's the big difference. Is it's like they're always, I am the shining example that all people should be following. Which, you know, obviously Wonder Woman nails that part of it. Mm-hmm. You know, whereas the Marvel movies are always like, I'm trying to do my best here.
Yeah, but I thought her like her childlike innocence, even though she's a full-grown adult, through this world of I thought all of that was very genuine. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel gimmicky. It never felt scripted in a way. It just felt like, yeah, that's how this person who has lived on this Amazon island all her life would probably react to this. Mm-hmm. And from then on, I was just like, fuck yeah, this is great. Mackie, I understand your issue with the final bits of that movie.
Talking about CG nightmares.
Well, like when we got to that, I was like, oh, okay, this is Man of Steel. This is Batman v Superman. They just have to do this for some reason. It's just two people have to go up in a Christ-like pose and yell at each other for the last 20 minutes of the movie. Whatever. I guess that's just the thing we're going to do here. But it didn't bother me because of who the bad person was. Mm-hmm. Like, who that reveal was. I was so thrilled by that because in my head, I was not thinking that. Like, I didn't have any idea that that's who it was going to turn out to be. I was like, oh, man, I'm loving this. Mm-hmm. This person in this situation being this character is fantastic. Yeah. So I quickly got over it's another pull up the earth and make it swirl around you and now shoot the earth at the other person thing. Yeah. But whatever. It was big and dumb and stupid, and the surrounding that was actual humanity going on to where there were enough moments of like, oh, shit got real here in the midst of this nonsense. Yeah. So I liked it a lot, and I thought Lucy Davis was great. I was dismayed when I saw her.
Yeah.
A bit. I was like, oh no, Lucy Davis, what's happened?
Yeah.
But she was fantastic, so liked it a lot.
I'm glad you liked it.
Me too. Last thing, the Wonder Woman movie theme is garbage. It started in Batman v Superman where like she would show up on screen and it's just like rubbing cats on a cello and it's like the fuck is this sound?
Really, that's the only like DC modern music thing I like.
I can't stand it. It doesn't fit. It just sounds, especially in World War I time, like when this music kicked in, I was just like,
I'll be honest, I can't even remember it.
Okay. Well,
I have it playing in my head right now.
It's prominent in Batman v Superman because it is so different from the other score in that movie. So it's like when Wonder Woman shows up in that movie, you just hear it and you're like, what is this? You know, it's just like, here's a picture of Wonder Woman. And it's like, stop.
It's called a guitar, Chuck.
It's a weird, gross sound.
Well, you were like rubbing cats on a cello. It's called a guitar.
I know, but it sounds like someone strangling a cat.
All right.
Oh,
I don't care for it.
Okay. That's fair.
So,
well, that's a crying shame.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I internet hated Wonder Woman. So,
so I've got one more kind of superhero-y movie to talk about, sort of.
Okay.
I watched the new Power Rangers movie.
Oh, Jesus.
I've heard that's better than you think it's going to be.
It's a lot better than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when we watched the Power Rangers movie for BMFcast, I think we established that BJ and I were the only ones that had any prior knowledge of Power Rangering.
It's true.
This is
at
correct.
all. I don't have extensive Power Ranger knowledge. You know,
neither do I.
I only watched some of the original series. And let me correct that.
Which one?
I only watched some of the original American Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, not whatever.
You don't worry about it.
Yeah. It almost came to me because they reference it in the credits. Anywho, so yeah. However, when this movie opens, if you've seen Joseph Kahn's Power/Rangers thing, you'll almost cackle with laughter because I was like, oh shit, was that like, did he have inside knowledge of like what this was going to be? Thankfully, it's not. It's not that. It's not the crazy R-rated thing that. It's just the opening sequence is like almost exactly the same opening sequence from that fan film thing. But like there are people that like I thought this was just going to be a movie with like nobody you'd ever heard of doing anything. Like I had no idea that like Bryan Cranston and Elizabeth Banks and Bill Hader were involved in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, respectively, there, Bryan Cranston plays Zordon. Bill Hader is the voice of Alpha 5, only he doesn't do that voice. He's just, hey, I'm Bill Hader. Basically, he's not doing the... Every once in a while, he does the, like, Alpha 5 catchphrases, but it's mostly just, hey, I'm Bill Hader. I'm doing a voice here. And Elizabeth Banks is Rita Repulsa, which, like, God bless that lady who's absolutely gorgeous for being willing to just put herself in the most ridiculous outfits and makeup and shit to not look that way. Because between that and all the bullshit she had on her in the Hunger Games movies, it's like I applaud that. I applaud beautiful women.
Effie in the Effie Trinket in the the one with the cotton candy hair.
Yes.
Okay.
But like I appreciate that. Like it seems like certain actresses are like, I'm pretty and only ever make me look pretty in a movie. And it's like, if you're really gorgeous and you're confident, like you can be her or Charlize Theron and like realize you're still gorgeous and yet you can play a character, like like when the movie's over, you're still pretty, like people aren't going to suddenly like, oh God, I thought you were pretty, but then I saw you with that weird makeup on in a movie and but I don't know.
So is the character called Rita Repulsa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's the old Power Rangers character. I'm just
it
like,
is. Yeah.
I don't know if they were like, no, we gotta.
We got to stupid it up even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's fun and it's stupid and it's stupid fun. Like I mean the characters are like sort of modernized but not to a super annoying level. Like there's basically like Asperger's Ranger. Like there's one guy who's just like straight up, I mean they don't really say that, but he's like, I'm on the spectrum and I straight up don't understand when you're making sarcasm. And so they use that for comedic effect, but not like, haha, let's laugh at that kid. It's just it's like we're dealing with modern things and like it's not directly said because it's still a PG sort of kids movie, but it's like I'm pretty sure there's lesbian ranger. There's a line like my parents just don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that.
Right. Yeah. It's just like it's implied, but like we'll keep it sort of maybe.
Good on him.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just like it's fun. Like it's a dumb fun little movie, and if you have any knowledge, I think you'll appreciate it. Especially if like you could look at this movie and say like, yeah, that's how you modernize and make a semi big budget modern movie, unlike Michael Bay's Transformers. Like just compare the two and say like, yeah, this is what you should want out of a rehash of a kids show from the 80s or 90s, and this is the way to do it because it's much more true to the source material. And final thing I'll say, we've made jokes about like the product placement taking you out of a movie. The product placement that happens in this movie is downright hilarious. Like not like intentionally hilarious. Like they lean into it so hard and it becomes a major plot point that it's kind of hilarious.
Like Wayne's World hilarious.
Not like they stop and go like, but like it becomes a central like crucial third act thing where they keep saying the name of the product placement thing that it just becomes funnier. That it's like, here's your main villain going, we must get to it. I don't want to ruin it because it's like it's part of the fun is finding out like what sort of D tier product placement they got for this movie. Like it's a thing you've heard of, but it's like, oh wow, I've never thought of them advertising in a movie before, and then just like, no, we are leaning hard into this product placement.
Nice.
You're making me think it's like the International Commission for Aglets or something.
No, it's a thing you've heard of more than that. It's just
It's IHOP.
it's not fucking like you're not far off.
We got a rendezvous with the IHOP.
You're not entirely far off.
Sizzler.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Denny's
No.
moons over
No.
my hammy.
It's not that important. I mean,
Waffle House.
it's fine. I'm just gonna tell you because it's Krispy Kreme.
Yes.
And it's just
Nice.
because it's kind of funny because like they portray Angel Grove as like kind of this shit little town in California like that, like the Krispy Kreme would be a big deal.
Yeah.
Not like
We got to save the.
So they have to
Krispy Kreme.
save the Krispy Kreme.
They have a dance off to save the
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme.
They go.
That's all I'm gonna say. I just
All right.
it becomes funny when you have like
They go at it again at the Krispy Kreme.
when
and
you
then
have
kick
your
the sign
when you've
down.
got, when you have your villain going like we must get to the Krispy Kreme. It's pretty fucking hilarious.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
You
in
might
for
have
that.
sold me on this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
I'm a big fan of Krispy Kreme because they spelled donut correctly. So
okay. However, they did not spell crispy and or cream correctly.
Doesn't matter. He only cares
they
about the
spelled
word
donut
donut.
correctly.
just put the put an O, a
some
G, and an H in there.
Put some respect on a donut.
Oh, I love respect covered
Yeah.
donuts.
Yeah,
Anywho,
glazed with respect.
you're literally guessing all the breakfast places. I might as well just fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I just got lucky guessing IHOP because he said international something. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, House of Pancakes is clearly an international icon.
Clearly.
So, speaking of international icons,
Uh-huh.
time to check in on Harry Potter.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I
okay.
skipped
going
a
on
week,
there?
so I got 2 of them.
Okay, go.
Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
Yes.
Like, that is the first time watching these movies that I said, you're giving me something I didn't already picture in the books.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, basically the ending of where there's fucking wizard duels all over the place and shit's going crazy and people are throwing, magic at each other and it's just cool. Like they don't explain some of the stuff very well, and I know they adapt it a little bit for like stuff that happens at the end, especially with Sirius. They don't really make clear what happened. Like there's a lot of stuff that my wife was like, so wait, so is that permanent? Or, I'm like, yes, it is. Like it's like, but it's magic, right? And it's like, yeah, but that's kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some of that stuff that they don't really make clear, where, as in the books, they're like, no, if this happens, this is like, there's no turning back from this. So there's some of that stuff. But man, yeah, that movie, like, they figured out, which apparently they just couldn't figure out in the first 4 movies, hey, montages help you pass time and also convey information effectively. Because holy shit, that movie has some great montages, especially with the Umbridge stuff, where she's taken over the school and, it's become this oppressive, horrible environment for everyone. And they sell all that really well. They kind of lose gas by the end of it, though, because like you build up such a hate for her so early on. And I remember from the book, she's way worse. Like she spends a lot more time torturing Harry and just being a piece of shit, whereas she becomes almost like this buffoony piece of shit, but it's not like the evil piece of shit she was in the book, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they play her more for comedy and more like just like, oh, this lady just doesn't get it, almost.
She's one of
In
the
the
only
movie.
like book characters in my entire life of reading books that I've gotten like fist clenchingly
you
mad
You
at.
get physically angry at her.
Just want to rip that woman in half.
Yeah,
But in the movie, it's just like, oh yeah, that's pretty bad,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah, and and I just remember watching, and I could not remember how her storyline resolved from the book, which it's kind of anticlimactic, which is why I didn't really remember it. But I just remember like watching it, and there's the part where Harry has to write the "I will not tell lies," and it's like it's burning it into his hand, and I was just like, God, I hope this lady just gets fucking magic murdered somehow, like gets her magic insides turned magic inside out or something. I don't know, but then it just kind of fizzles out. But that's okay because fucking wizard duels.
Yep.
Wizard duels are cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that movie gave me everything that I wanted the other movies to be.
Yeah, when I got to that one, I was like, oh, okay, this was all worth it. It's like, okay, we're going in a direction now. I get it. Shit's got real. Let's fucking close this stuff out. Let's go. Let's do all the Harry Pottering, and this is going to be badass and super cool.
Yeah. And it's weird because like I remember the book just not being one of my favorites at all. Like just being kind of like, all right. But the movie gives me the stuff I want that I was hoping to see. And that gives me something different from what I had and tells the complete story. It doesn't feel like it left anything out. I mean, they left out all of basically Ron becoming part of the Quidditch team, but you know how I feel about Quidditch at this point. It's like,
Yeah.
on screen it looks stupid.
Yes.
Looks better in 6 in Half-Blood Prince.
Okay.
They learned to film it better. There is the scene where Ron gets to be badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of Half-Blood Prince is bad. It's a bad adaptation of a book that I'm not crazy about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the big problem, like, it's weird in that movie's shot by Bruno Delbonnel, who he shot Amelie, which is like one of the most beautiful films ever, and it's just ugly. Like, it's like, let's make everything gold and black throughout the entire movie, no matter what it is, except for flashbacks that are green and black and white, and it's like, okay. And that one really suffers from, one, Order of the Phoenix having such an amazing ending where everything's like, fucking A. And then it's just kind of like, all right, let's kind of set the stage for the next book. Which is really what that book is kind of like, all right, we're preparing you for everything that we're going to have to do in the last book. So it's almost kind of like we need to fill out all the backstory, we need to do all that stuff. The problem is the movie doesn't do any of that. The main spine, the backbone of the book is all the flashbacks to Tom Riddle that they go through. There's like 2 of them in the movie.
Yep.
There's, I think, 6 in the book. And when you cut those out, you don't have a plot anymore. And you've missed the point of the book is let's get Voldemort's backstory here. Yeah. And they don't do that. So it's like, and it's all because it's table setting as well for all the Horcruxes and all the shit that's going to be in the last movie, or last 2 movies now, I should say. It becomes like, you're giving me the appetizer.
Yeah.
You're giving me the salad, but then you took out all the lettuce. So now I just have some onions and some tomatoes and maybe some croutons. And it's like, this isn't you got parts of the salad, but you don't, like, there's nothing here. And then they took out, like, there's a fucking wizard duel in the book at the end. There's all sorts of, like, the Order of the Phoenix shows up and everybody has a big battle. They took all that out because they felt it was going to be too similar to what happens in the last movie.
Well.
So that's kind of like, okay. So, you put one action scene in the middle that wasn't in the book. That's kind of, it's all right, I guess. But I don't know. It's just, it was... It was just funny to me that there's the point near the end where they have to get an item, they have to drink all this poison in this thing. That's like one of the, like, that is a very cool sequence, like, as far as it plays out on film to me. But I remember, like, as Harry's forcing this man to drink poison, as he's like, no, kill me. And I'm like, man, we are out of kids movie territory at this point, aren't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's not, it's an okay movie and there's some bits to it that are good, but they just miss the point. It's like one of those weird movies that has focused on all the wrong things. Like, I appreciate it focusing on Ron getting to be awesome, which, Ron is basically like the hero of that movie for most of the second act. And that's kind of like a side plot in the book that they were just like, no, this needs to be the main thing. And everybody falling in love with, all the school stuff. And that's what's weird to me is I've been complaining there's not enough school stuff in the other ones. And this one, they got all the school stuff, but it's like, I don't care about any of that anymore. Like you've raised the stakes so much that we can't care about that stuff.
Yes, that was my main problem with it, was that the stakes had gotten so high at the end of the last one. It's like, okay, shit's real, let's do this. And then this was just like, I could just hear like the 90s TV promo for this. It was like, next week on Harry Potter, love is in the air, and it's a scavenger hunt. And it's like, the fuck? Do you not remember what you just did?
Yeah, and that's
kind of magic at each other.
And that's kind of the no-win situation that the other movies put that movie in.
Yeah,
is like, for the ending to, like, reach the points that it reaches, where everybody ends up by the end of the movies and the books, you have to have set the stage for all that. And so they're like, all right, it's all got to be in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know at that point if they were still planning on doing Deathly Hallows as 1 or 2 movies.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that feels like why they did all that. And then they just claimed that they were going to put all the flashbacks in, which they should have. But then they took them all out, and so it kind of just fucks the movie.
Yeah, is it only the first two got the like extended edition versions put out?
I believe so.
Which is like,
And they're even not that long.
yeah,
They're
no,
not
no,
they're
yeah,
not Lord of the Rings
Rings,
style. Yeah.
30 extra
No.
minutes.
And I just like anything that would merit super long extended editions. At this point, I think would be those movies, and I'm surprised that they didn't plan for that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Most of them feel like everything they shot is in the movie, and there's just deleted bits here and there, but it's not like huge chunks of anything are filmed and not used.
Yeah. But that one misses so many things. All the Tom Riddle stuff, and then the movies Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The book that belongs to the Half-Blood Prince that he gets that basically tells him, basically lets him cheat in his potions class. It shows up like then, and they show him carrying it around, and then all of a sudden, later in the movie, they're like, "We have to get rid of the book. You have to." And they never explain why that matters, why that's such a big deal, why the Half-Blood Prince thing matters. Which obviously, I hate to keep saying this, but the book's made perfectly clear by the end of that book, why the Half-Blood Prince stuff matters.
Yeah.
And the movie, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, Half-Blood Prince. Later. So it feels like a very terrible adaptation of a book I already wasn't crazy about. But there's just a few really nice scenes in it, but otherwise it's just kind of like, it was very weird that it just did not feel like it was made by the same director as the previous one. Because he did everything so well in that. And I wonder if that's because that was the only one that wasn't adapted by Steve Kloves. And Steve Kloves adapted this one and was like, yep, you're back to just fucking things up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 left.
You're almost done.
I'm almost
kind
done.
of like one movie left.
Are you going to watch both of those and then report on both of them at the same time, or are you going to...
I think I'm only going to do the first one. Deadly
right.
House Part 1.
They're pretty long.
Yeah. And I will note, my wife loved Order of the Phoenix and hated Half-Blood Prince.
Good on her.
Well, especially because of some of the stuff that happens at the end of that, which is filmed the way it happened in my head in the book.
Yeah.
Vastly different than it happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Just point of view, everything about it is off.
Yeah.
It is anticlimactic in a way that it absolutely should not have been.
Yeah.
So they fucked that up too. Like the most important part of that book.
Yeah.
Well, the 2 most important parts of that book they fuck up.
Yeah.
So go figure. Oh well.
Yeah.
Man, it's late.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to save all. We got a bunch of voicemails. We got a bunch of emails, but we're gonna have to save them for next week.
Can I slide one quick recommendation in
Of
before
course,
we
yeah.
before we wrap all this up?
Yeah, see, that's why we can't have that stuff. We got to save it for next week. But yes, we need your input so
Just
that
one thing that I can talk about in the second half.
yes,
Yeah, we want it.
do it.
I recently watched the entirety of the YouTube series Titan's Grave. Titan's Grave: The Fall of Valkana. It's on the Geek and Sundry network. It's a little bit crossover with No Quarters because it's game related.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But
What is it?
it's Will Wheaton, and I know people are iffy about Will Wheaton, but Will Wheaton DMs an RPG campaign for Hank Green. Shit, I should have been prepared for this. I thought I could remember their names, but I can't. It's Will Wheaton, Laura Bailey, Yuri Lowenthal, Allison Hayslip, and Hank Green.
Okay.
And he DMs a campaign for them, and it's like 10 episodes, 45 minutes an episode. It's kind of like a mini-series, but it's awfully good. It is really, really good. It's less acting and more just reacting to, to situations, but the writing for the setting is extraordinarily good, and it's a really good insight into if you've never played an RPG and want to know what an RPG should be like, that is what you should watch. Titan's Grave. It's 10 episodes. Okay. It's 45 minutes or so a piece, and it's I laughed, I cried. It was better than Cats. I would watch it again and again.
That sounds like a solid recommendation.
Just Yeah, just wanted to make sure to throw that out there because I consumed it mightily,
Okay.
and it had a very strong impact.
Yeah, I
on
like
me.
the sound of that.
Yeah.
Verily.
Yes. That's all. That's all I got.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm done.
Well, not quite, because you need to tell people how they get in contact
Yeah.
with us. So that we can promptly talk over them and not
Put it
respond to them
More
for
on
the
the
entire
pile.
second half.
Yeah.
No, we want to. Just
We're not going to watch any movies next week.
Next
Right.
week, no movies.
Right.
No movies. Just email.
Just emails.
Except maybe Harry Potter and whatever else anybody sees.
Yeah, I got a couple
Right.
movies.
But we'll get to them. But in the meantime, you can leave us some voicemails by calling the Garfield phone, 910-5-JACKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. You can send us emails to bmf@bmfcast.com, or you can go to the website, bmfcast.com, and check out all the fun stuff that we have for you on the website, which includes our episodes and links to all of our social things. And it also contains a link to our Patreon. Or if you want to go directly, it's patreon.com/bmfcast. And that's where you can give us money because you love us.
Yeah, it is.
And you get extra podcasts.
You do
and
get
stuff.
rewarded for it, but, you know.
Yes, right now you can listen to our Christmas in July episodes. You don't have to wait till August to listen to them, because then it won't make any sense.
You're right.
it'd probably still make as much sense.
You're right.
All right, well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yes.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. Bye.
Bye. Later.
Motherfuckers.
Oh,
There you go.
there aren't any big movies opening this week, I guess.
No?
I guess they wanted to give Spider-Man a buffer
Another week?
week. Because, I mean,
Well, Dunkirk
both
is-
Dunkirk and Valerian are next weekend.
It's not this weekend?
Not this weekend.
Huh.
It's 21st.
Weird.
That's kind of weird to book both of those against each other, but I guess whatever.
They're different enough.
They're different enough.
That's weird. Weird.
Jen apparently is all about seeing Atomic Blonde. So I'm like, good.
Fuck yeah.
Sweet.
Good.
Let's do that. That's how I felt when Wonder Woman came up. I'm like, yeah.
There was somebody on the Monday night live stream shitting all over Atomic Blonde, and I was like, I haven't seen it yet. Apparently you watch movies early, but
Is it Kratos again?
shut up. Who do you think it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kratos hates everything.
Good
That
job,
guy.
Kratos.
Did he like John Wick? That'll be a good litmus test because
He was
because Atomic
disappointed-
Blonde is one of the John Wick people.
He was disappointed that people that made John Wick made this. That was the thing he said.
Well,
But
I don't know, man. If
I also
the shit
don't know-
that's- if the shit that's,
I cannot-
that's in the trailer
I
is in
can-
this movie,
Right?
I'm gonna like it.
I also
I'm
want to know
sorry.
what fucking like weird Russian camcorder footage of this bullshit is he watching?
I don't know. I
Because
can't.
where the fuck are you
He
finding?
watches everything before. Like I'm
the
sure
only-
he downloads it off of like
or he's in
Pirate
the
Bay or
industry
something.
and he can.
he's not.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
All
Well,
right.
from what he's told me about his employment.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how the fuck you find these things. I mean, this early, and
I don't know.
Or you just get in previews.
I guess but,
somebody.
I mean,
I'm
that's-
sure somebody's.
Isn't that
ripping
like?
screeners
But
out
that's
there
like not coming
somewhere.
out for like August or something, right?
What's that?
Isn't like Atomic Blonde like next month sometime? Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
which is only like 2 weeks away.
all right.
Like I just haven't been able to peg his, like, for all the times he's come and said, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. He's only said he likes like 2 things, so I can't peg his. Yeah, Blood Drive. Fuck Blood Drive. Camp, I guess, extreme schlocky camp.
I
I
don't even
can't
know
peg
what
his
Blood
like his taste. Bye.
I don't even know.
We
what
didn't
blood
want you
drive
here
is.
any longer anyway.
See you tomorrow.
What is blood drive? Explain in like one sentence,
Oh,
please.
it's something that Tommy likes.
Okay, explain it in an actual, not opinion. Like, explain the plot in one sentence.
Blood Drive?
Yeah,
It's an asylum sci-fi show.
is that what it is?
I don't know who makes it, but
It's like Z Nation.
So it's a zombie thing.
No.
All right.
gas is very scarce, and there's a demonic car that's powered by blood.
Okay, then. There you go. That works.
Yeah, those are the things that I know about the show for sure. And Shiny Lights T-Straw likes it, so
I remember when I saw the premise, I was like, sweet. And then I saw Sci-Fi Asylum, I was like, no.
Hey, speaking of Shiny Lights T-Straw, send me all movies with full frontal male nudity that I haven't seen. Any recommendations? like new ones, because
Oh, we're on that kick again.
I've never gotten off that kick.
We're still on that kick. I
Yeah,
should say.
still on that kick. Never left. I have to like let it lay dormant for a while so that it's that much better when it's just like, hey, well, let's try this movie. Cool. And like, oh, doggers. Ha ha.
Has he not figured it out, or are you just surprising him?
Yeah, it's more like surprising at this point.
So you're actually trying to be like, ha ha, got you with the dongers.
What's the best is when I literally have no idea and we just watch a random movie and there's Dogger and I'm like, wow, this is...
How fortuitous.
It's kismet.
A dog.
Yeah. Ooh, a wiener.
Unexpected.
Surprise wiener. Wiener, wiener, chicken dinner. Yes. All that.
I'll watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I think maybe I made him watch that one. I mean, I'm trying to remember like what began it all. Like, I know there was a point where I finally forced Boogie Nights on him because he was like, that is a period piece. I'm like, it's fucking fantastic. Shut the fuck up with your goddamn period. You're a fucking period piece.
Complaining about period pieces is okay when it's like the 1790s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fucking costume.
Not,
It's like the
it's not a fucking period piece if you were alive during the period,
Yeah.
which you were, old man.
But also the 70s were fucking awesome.
I was alive during that period. I just was like 2.
Good guy.
The 70s were kind of shit for all involved, but the look of the 70s is great in film.
All right. Night, everybody.
Oh, we got all that on tape, huh?
He's out there on the live stream,
Yeah.
in fact.
Dongers.
Send in your dongers, everybody.
Yeah.
No, wait.
But no, ignore everything that Chuck says. I'm not asking
No,
for you.
just send me your dongers.
I can look up.
No, wait.
I can look up not hot dog, but you know, I'm talking about movies where it appears naturally.